What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's the word, bro?
Man, vibed out. You already know. Another day, another opportunity to come up here and talk a little shop, bond with the good folk of the, YouTube community. Shout out to all of y'all. And, just have a good little vibe, man. And get a chance to see you dripped out once again, man. So, I like the consistency I'm seeing all of a sudden, man. Shout out to you, baby. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pretty good day. I mean, we got some really good news for Demar Hamlin. There's this report that they may add an 8th team to the playoffs in both conferences. So,
we're gonna tap in. We definitely gonna tap in, man.
Whenever you take that phrase, so you're saying there's a chance.
Now
sick. So you're saying there's even a better chance.
Yeah.
Whoever said that or whoever came up with that idea, incredible. Thank you.
I would agree.
You are a genius.
It's evergreen right there. That's never gonna go old. It's never gonna go out of style, man.
That's seriously a great idea. It really is. I think it works for everyone, really. Yeah. But if you want to talk about it later, we will. But no, I'm in good spirits right now.
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, we don't have to wait. I can just go ahead and pop that thing. Well, actually, we'll go and do our regular formalities, and then we'll tap into it. Keep it consistent. Yeah.
I'm just in a good mood right now.
I like that, man. Mood. I like that. Bro, the color, though, bro. Like, you fine.
My mom even complimented my flannel. I must be doing something right on the style side.
Deep, drippy as heck.
Although, not really. Mom's going to compliment you no matter what.
No. Not all moms. No, they don't. I bet if you came out here Missy Matchy or something crazy, she'd probably be like, Eric.
That's true. I don't get too many compliments from her on my attire. Actually, it's usually the opposite from my parents. Like, what are you doing? You can dress so much nicer than what you're doing right now.
She's probably so proud of you. Like, man, just look at this guy right here. Look at him. That's my boy. Yeah. Shout out to moms. Let's go. But yeah, man. So, other than that, man, it's just been a vibe. Chill day. Took care of some business on the front end. My highlight tape for my little man.
It's ready.
It's ready.
It's cooked up.
It's ready.
Just waiting to cover, huh?
That's it. It's ready, though, bro. I'm excited because my little man, these past couple of days, he been asking a lot.
How long is it?
That was the other funny thing, right? So, I'm glad you actually asked this.
This is interesting. Okay,
I'm glad you asked this. So this is always something that I like. Us as players.
What's really a highlight?
Yeah, because us as players, this is a real thing. So the pride versus like the sincerity of it versus like I just want like tell a story versus like I'm looking for certain things. So like when I first get down to setting it up, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I've heard dudes talk about, man, I got my highlight tape. It was only 2 minutes long. And I'm sitting here like, bro, ain't no way, bro, a highlight tape 2 minutes long, bro. I'm like, yo, you got to have more hit. You got to have more something. They ain't talking. They ain't got the camera following you. Like, if they ain't replaying your play, like, did you make the play? Like, was it dope like that? You know what I mean? So I'm sitting, I'm going through my mind. I'm like, bruh. So I just started cutting up play after play after play after play. And I'm like, all right. But I said, I only wanted to do regular season. Because I was like, it's the pride in me. I'm like, man, I was never, like, preseason is cool. You still respect it. But for me, I looked at regular season and playoffs.
Right.
So I was holding myself to a high standard. And I was good with that. I had all my clips lined up, but I did actually have to go, unfortunately, and add just a couple of plays from one preseason game. Obviously, the last preseason game is the Giants because...
It was a good game.
Well, my son wanted the interception.
Okay.
He's like, Dad, you got an interception. So I'm like, that's the only one I got at this level. Oh, I guess I got to go to the preseason.
You didn't have the 5.5 on the helmet
you know what
I'm
saying? Yeah, so I'm just like, it works. It's cool. Luckily, it was in New York, so you can't tell it's all the way preseason. But I'm just like, but it looked dope. He gonna have a blast watching it. So that part was cool. So as we're looking at the time of this thing, I'm like, dang, man, this about to be like 10 minutes max. It was actually a lot longer. So I was actually I was pretty happy.
10 minutes is a decent amount.
I was pretty happy. I had cut it down. I actually have it to like 35 minutes right now.
Full highlights.
Not even all of them. No, just as like some of like my main ones. Yeah, from like Buffalo.
35 minutes.
Yeah. So like I said, it's cool. And most of the
you should be impressed with yourself.
Well, I was to an extent.
You were hard on the grading or no?
I was hard enough. Like I looked at it like this. I was like, I'm not putting no preseason except like I said that one game because my little man wanted to pick. And then from there I was like, man, if it's not like replay worthy or if we ain't have like a reaction after it, if the camera ain't follow, I don't want it up
What
there.
about just like a solid fundamental play? Like if you had to
Funny
teach
thing,
someone the game.
I probably put 2 of them up there, and I had cut a ton of them off, and I was about to take those 2 off as well. They're literally at the end of
Damn.
it because I was just like, yo, it's fundamental, it's cool, but if it wasn't a TFL, a sack, or a big hit, I ain't win it.
Really?
Yeah, that was like the vibe. So that was because I'm thinking to myself,
That's
like,
honorable.
because I'm like, it's a highlight. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah, okay.
but then that was the dilemma because I'm saying, okay, if it's my little man, I could put special teams plays, all this other stuff. Because I think I only have like 2 special teams plays up there too. Because once again, I'm like, oh man, I mean, it's cool, but it's special teams. Like, you know how I go. Like, that's how I look at it. So I ain't want to put them all the way up there like that. So I got 2 of them up there. But once again, if you're talking about just like a full vid versus specifically looking for like to tell a story about something, then now I would have put way more stuff up there. Because initially I think it was like 100 clips that I had, and that didn't include special teams, but that was like those fundamental plays you were talking about as well. And I was just like, man, I don't want these up here. So yeah.
You might need to drop a fundamentals video too. Moats fundamentals.
Because I got those inside and outside linebacker, and I was like, I made sure to include some of my off ball, inside linebacker, and off ball. I mean, pass rushing stuff, run and pass defense. So you could just see the dynamic with it. But yeah, it was definitely something I was like, yo, do I want these fundamentals? Oh, he hat in hands, stack shed, make the tackle, but he picked up 3. Oh, he got a 4. I mean, like I ain't like that all the way. You know what I mean?
See.
I was like, I want that knockback. I want that where it's like, yo, all right, okay, salute. And then leave a little rest to the imagination. I couldn't empty the whole clip, but you know, put enough up there.
So 35 minutes. How are you and your son watching this? Grabbing some popcorn.
So this is
big
the other
screen?
funny part, right? So when I told him, I was a little like nervous because I'm like, yo, gee, I think I made it a little bit too long. It's 35 minutes. He looks up and he says, Dad, you could have made, why you didn't make it an hour? Like, I want to like
He
watch.
wants a documentary.
Yeah, he wants to like sit, because he'll just sit there and watch our stuff, bro. Like when we're done and we,
Wait, really?
bro, yes. When
What's he
we
think of my
post
takes?
this stuff, he doesn't understand like our takes to that level yet.
It's just more entertaining.
Yeah, it's
The back and
entertaining. He
forth.
sees us laugh, and he'll hear like the names. Like when we say like Kenny Pickett, Pickens, Josh Allen, Diggs, stuff like that. He light up. But that was funny because like anytime we upload his stuff, he gets all notifications. Hey, Dad, I know y'all just finished. Hey, Dad, I just seen this. Hey, Dad, I know you uploaded that. I was like, dang, man, salute you, bro. Yeah, so he wants to like watch it. So I'm thinking maybe doing a premiere for the
that'd be
for the
cool.
release. You know what I mean? Just like a little cool, like,
Might need
all
to
right,
hop in.
we can all like watch it together, you know what I'm saying? Chat it up and all that stuff. Get the live feedback when it's actually releasing. I was thinking about that. But like I said, still up in the air right now.
I think that'd be a great idea.
But you know, that's you know, kind of playing with all those right now. But yeah, man, I was a little excited though. So yeah, it's been a good little journey with this thing, man. Brought back some good memories too, man. So yeah.
All right, you want me to hit these shout outs?
Absolutely. So now let's get this show rolling. Enough about moi, and let's talk about what's talking about. So let us know where you're tuning in from so we can give you the big boy shout out to start today's show.
Leo Warren, 254 Killeen, Texas.
Let's get it.
Kenneth Moses, what's up from the 757 Virginia Beach?
Oh yeah, Doug Crib.
Fellas, what's going to be the biggest surprise of the offseason?
Ooh, I like that.
It's going to be
question.
something to do with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Quarterback carousel for sure.
100%, because they're gonna bring something. It's gonna be movement there regardless, and we just don't know how significant they're gonna make those, you know, replenishing moves. Yeah,
Like just last year, all the talks were Aaron Rodgers to Denver. And then out of the blue,
Yeah.
Russell Wilson gets traded to Denver after Aaron Rodgers
Absolutely.
signed. Like, I don't think anyone was predicting that.
Yeah.
It was all talk about where's Rodgers going? Most likely the Broncos. If he doesn't go to the Broncos, I didn't think Russell Wilson was going to play. That was nowhere close in that stratosphere.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden the trade
you know
happened.
who else I still kind of think of too? You think Kyler Murray stays put this offseason?
That's not a bad call.
Because I'm like, we know how everything went down last offseason, which even forced him to do the deal, but then how everything played out, and obviously he's hurt, but even the rumors about the whole Kingsbury, do they still keep him? What's that relationship like? He was another one of the ones I was kind of like, man, I wonder, does he get moved, or does he end up staying put out in AZ?
I think he stays put just due to the ACL. He'll be out for the first month or two probably.
Yeah.
Would a team
Unless
unless a team's just thinking, let's get him on, almost like with the Browns, Deshaun Watson.
Correct.
Although the Browns with Deshaun Watson, they weren't necessarily trying to tank.
Yeah, and they.
I was gonna say you could tank, have Kyler Murray sit out, and then
Mm-hmm.
you know you just want him to sit out the whole season. Then come,
Yeah.
almost like KD going to the
seriously.
Nets.
Well, and I also thought of who's the other one? Or I said similar to the Deshaun Watson, but at least in a more better way because he would actually be able to be around the guys. Remember, Deshaun couldn't even be in the building when he was doing his suspension. So at least if Kyler were to get traded or something like that, he would be able to be around doing his rehab.
That's not a bad call. I could see Arizona just trying to get a whole fresh start with this whole thing, because this year was supposed to be. Hopkins getting hurt didn't help, or not hurt. He got suspended.
Handstands, man.
Yeah, probably. But that's just been a disaster. It seems like that era has hit its peak.
Yeah.
In a way. I could also see them giving it just one last ditch run next year, but it's weird because they're not gonna get a fair chance at it if Murray's gonna be out.
Yeah, they're not. And then on top of that, JJ already announced the retirement, so he's not gonna be back out there. That's a person that they had still been relying on. Yeah, and then like you said, with the Kingsbury situation, and even the GM, Steve Kine, remember, he's away right now for health-related reasons.
Well, if you're bringing up Murray, then I guess Hopkins needs to be brought up.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if they switched the whole direction
they just
of
go
it.
Straight Dolphins approach.
Yeah, because of right now you got pieces and assets, but nothing really concrete that you're going to necessarily move forward with.
Is that your bold, biggest offseason surprise?
I guess so. It didn't have
Cardinals
anything to do with the Steelers.
Cardinals tank. I think he was just talking in general. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if he was talking
because
Steelers
that's the one
related.
that I don't know. It just doesn't match up right now, man. And they got assets, and it's just a lot of just fluid stuff
and
going
you got a
on
feel
over
for
there,
the
man.
organization.
Chill, man. Don't do that to me, man. Don't you put that on me.
Camo Kid, that's your brother, right?
Absolutely, man. Shout out to the little homie.
804 Midlothian, Virginia.
Midlothian. Yeah, Midlothian.
There's an L in there.
Believe it was. Actually, I have
This
not.
is why I need LASIK.
Are you good, baby?
Even my glasses aren't working. By the way of the 757.
Put some respect on the crib. Major little broski, you already know.
I'll say two more here. Alex Papamichael, 561 Boca Raton, South Florida. Flight got canceled the other day and had to drive back from the 412. Long drive.
Let's go.
Brilla 92.
Whew, that's a ride.
817, Arlington, Texas. Let's get it.
Respect. Alrighty. So yes, man, we're gonna tap into this first topic. Now we do have, like I said, Robert Spillane calling us at 4:00, man. So we're definitely excited to talk to him about a lot, plenty of stuff that's gonna be on the table as pertains to things just this season. Coach Flores, the inside linebacker room. Obviously, Demar Hamlin and, his situation, man. So we're going to definitely be looking forward to talking to him in a little bit. All righty. I think we actually could get through these supers to start. Actually, no, we'll just stay focused. I'm with us.
Sure. I got it. Yeah, I got them off screen.
All right, bet.
So we're good. I got them saved. So Demar Hamlin then?
Yeah, let's start with
updates on him.
Yeah, because we did get some very, very positive and promising news as pertains to Demar Hamlin. Deke, you got the reports and everything.
Yeah, I'll read everything. So
yeah.
First was the Bills saying, per the physicians caring for Demar Hamlin at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center, Demar has shown remarkable improvement over the past 24 hours. While still critically ill, he has demonstrated he appears to be neurologically intact. His lungs continue to heal, and he is making steady progress. We are grateful for the love and support we've received.
Let's go.
And then next couple were from Ian Rappaport. He says, Demar Hamlin opened his eyes last night and is responsive. Truly incredible. One thing that's very clear from speaking to those close to him, they're endlessly appreciative of the medical care given to Hamlin on the field immediately, then over the last 72 hours.
Let's go.
Quote tweets that and says Demar Hamlin has been gripping the hands of those close to him. Another very positive sign.
Let's go.
A couple more here. This is from Ian Rappaport again. It says Dr. Timothy Pritz of UC Health. He's made substantial improvement. It appears his neurological condition and function is intact.
Good.
We're very proud to report that. This marks a really good turning point in his ongoing care. And then Ian Rappaport says this from Dr. William Knight. Less than a minute from the event to the immediate bystander CPR, we cannot credit the Bills' medical staff enough. It's rare to have something this serious to happen and recognize it so quickly. No. Yeah, there was someone on the Bills' medical staff.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
He's getting tweeted. He's all over Twitter feeds right now, so you got to give a big shout out to him.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Here's another one. Dr. William Knight says Demar Hamlin had a pulse, then lost it while surrounded by medical personnel. So I guess this is going back to Monday night. Then he had immediate CPR. This is incredible to imagine. So this goes back to the Bills' medical staff. Asked if he's been holding people's hands. docs say he's held many people's hands.
Let's go, man.
Yeah, this is all
Let's
really
go,
good stuff.
man.
There's also a report, too. Did you see this? I guess when he opened his eyes, he was able to write something down or communicate some type of message to the people in the room. And the first thing he asked was, did we win the game? And then the docs responded, like, yes, you won the game of life.
Yeah.
But, like, even that, to go hand in hand with all these tweets, for him to, like, recall the game.
Seriously,
hey,
man.
That's the last time
Absolutely.
I was there. Like,
absolutely.
Bills were playing against the Bengals.
I
Did we
remember
win?
that part.
And then
Heck
to
yeah.
hear about him holding the hands of the people around
Yes,
him, like,
dude.
he recognizes them.
That's
So, like,
awesome to hear,
this is
man.
all great news.
That is awesome to hear, man. Let's go.
I think that's all we have right now. They did, like, I guess if you want more in depth, the University of Cincinnati medical stuff. There's a couple physicians here. They did like a little press conference.
No doubt.
You can probably find that on Twitter somewhere. But
No
yeah,
doubt.
those are all the reports that came in today. So that's really
man.
positive.
Heck yeah.
From last time we left, or the podcast yesterday,
Yeah,
at least,
I mean,
everything was positive, but this
Right.
is even
This
way
is
better
way
than that.
better. Heck yeah, man. Obviously, like the reports say, man, he's still fighting and still got a ways to go with the recovery. But man, that is very, very promising. Yes. That's news we needed to hear right there, man. Salute all of the people that have been a part of, just like you said, keeping him alive and helping him on his recovery. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, that's all we can do right now.
Absolutely,
Just
man.
Keep supporting, praying for more and more positive news and full recovery.
Absolutely, man. No, that is definitely dope right there, man. So obviously, man, every time we come up here, we are definitely gonna give some type of update around the situation as more information becomes abreast to all of us. But yeah, man, just like I said, man, we're gonna keep the conversation rolling with him, man, just to let him know that he's always part of this thing, man. So shout out to him and shout out to everybody. Like I said, man, it's sending that positive energy, man. So let's go.
We sticking with some around the league news then?
Yes.
Or super chats?
Actually, the follow up off of this, because we obviously with this we did have information that came from the NFL pertaining directly to this situation, obviously around the games and the playoff ramifications, because we know a lot was riding on that on that Bills and Bengals game. So we did get it somewhat of an update earlier today. If you want to go ahead and do that again.
Wow. Okay, so I don't know if the tweet I just saw is necessarily verified. I gotta say it because ML Football says breaking. Oh, I guess this is from Pro Football Talk. I'm sorry, I'm confusing myself here. He says the NFL is talking about adding an 8th team to the AFC playoffs, and there will be no bye in the AFC, according to Pro Football Talk.
So 8-team AFC, no bye.
I'm sorry, that's the one I'm just too excited about right now because
no, honestly,
how
like it makes the
pertains to
most
Steelers.
sense.
But like I could talk about more. There's other stuff they got going on with the Bills Bengals game too.
Yeah. So first let's do this then. Is it all like right there easily for you to?
Yeah, I got it.
So list off all of it first, and then we'll go back and hyper focus on each one of them.
This was a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
Here's a look at where things currently stand as to the scheduling. No Bills Bengals game. I think that's pretty much confirmed. There's a lot of reports coming out. It's just going to be no contest, essentially. And then they'll base the standings off win percentage.
Yes.
Because the Bills and the Bengals will have one last game. 2, NFL figuring out what to do with AFC seeding. 3, potential neutral site for the AFC Championship. 4, expansion of playoff fields to 8 teams in AFC, NFC is possible.
So man, let's tap into this thing, man. First thing, the no bye week, add 8 teams AFC. I think that off the initial reaction, I thought that was the best decision or best proposition, because number one, there's multiple teams that are still fighting for that 7th playoff spot, and if we're talking about the league continuing on while still not penalizing people for a just unfortunate and tragic event, I do think the expansion for this season specifically would make sense, because you at least, whether it's teams like us, whether it's teams like the Jets, whether it's teams like, I think it's the Dolphins as well, the Patriots, all these other teams that are fighting for that final spot, all of us essentially don't get that opportunity to really, see it come to fruition if that game doesn't have some type of stake, or if that game isn't played. So at least in this capacity, it will at least allow of the group of guys fighting for that final spot, a legitimate opportunity without at the same time pushing the Bengals or Bills to go back into a very traumatic situation just for the sake of standings. So I did like that. And then I think when they talk about the no bye week, I think that's right also, because if your team didn't actually earn that 1 seed, then no, you shouldn't have the bye week. That's just how it goes. And we knew only one of those teams were going to get that, but it was truly a coin flip when you talk about Kansas City, Buffalo, and Cincinnati. All three of those teams are on that same playing field based on what we had seen from them this season. So I think it's fair for all three of them under the circumstances.
Yeah.
And even going to the neutral site AFC Championship game, I low-key like that as well. Now, granted, I would be a little bit tempted to wait to see what the matchup is.
Right.
Because if it's a clear, seed discrepancy, then I would just rather go winning percentage host. But if it's a scenario where, it is a Bills, Chiefs, or Bills, Bengals, Chiefs,
one of
something
those
like
top
that.
three.
Right. If it's one of those teams, then I do think it's appropriate to do a neutral site. So that way you're not penalizing one of those three teams for this situation that, that happened.
I think it just makes common sense.
Yeah. Like I said, I like that a lot, man. If that is, what they go with, I don't see a lot of, at least from my perspective, I don't see a lot of issues with it.
No, I don't either. I think it's an incredible idea. That way, that final playoff seed for the AFC, for that 7th seed, isn't dependent on what the Bills do or not do.
Yeah.
Because there might be some players in this Bills-Patriots game.
Yeah,
I saw some reports that they can sit out. It's almost
they
almost like the COVID situation.
Yes, they got the option now. Yeah.
So, it puts no pressure on the Bills, and it leaves the other teams that are looking for that 7th seed, it leaves them not looking for anything from that Bills game.
Yeah.
Now it just literally comes down to you taking care of business. And if anything, your chances to make it just increase a little bit more.
And the other thing that I thought of with this situation is, obviously, when we talk just how big of a deal it is to host games. You know what I mean? We know the energy when we're hosting in Pittsburgh for playoffs, and we know what it feels like to go on the road. I think of distinctly us hosting playoff games in Pittsburgh, us us going on the road to Kansas City, and then us going on the road to New England, and what those situations felt like. It is an advantage, when you have a game at home. Absolutely it is. And then if we're talking, just the business side of it, I believe you get more money when you're hosting a game on top of that, because you got concessions, stadium, parking, all that type of stuff as well, right? But I just think in this scenario, all of those teams, especially the big three that are most impacted by that home field advantage, by that 1 seed, I think all three of them are very understanding of the scenario, especially with 2 of those teams directly being impacted in the stadium when it happened, when you're talking Cincinnati and Buffalo. So I think both of them were going to be on board with this type of decision, even if it meant them not hosting, even if it meant them losing money, even if it meant them potentially having a competitive disadvantage because you're not, even if it's a neutral site, you're just not at the crib. Dude, everybody loves to play at the crib, man. I love to wake up in my bed next to my wife. I play better that way. You know what I mean? Versus when I'm in a hotel, you sleeping a little all erratic. What's the time zone?
Who knows what the Patriots are doing? They're setting alarms off at your hotel.
You know what I mean? And that's real. So in that capacity, I do think that, like I said, all three of those teams in terms of Cincy, Buffalo, and Kansas City, I don't think that they're looking at that as, man, we got to have a hard stance to really host this because we're losing out on that, when they understand this is such a outlier situation. If this was a commonality, if this is something that we see happen frequently and there was there are other things in place, other alternatives, I think it's a different approach. But this is such a outlier. This is such a one-off. And you are still towing that line of business versus human, When you talk about the option for guys to play this week, they were having a walkthrough in Buffalo yesterday. Because you can't put them dudes back out there and expect them to go practice, because mentally and emotionally it's too much right now. And that's something that all those guys are having to process through and get it figured out. You even heard Joe Burrow when he spoke on it, what those past 48 hours have been for him. And that's the thing, that as much as we're starting to get the machine back up and running again, that part still can't get lost in this either, when we're talking about the significance of playing these games and why they need to do it. And it's not right to have nobody hosting. You have to have a hard 1 seed. That's the part where we don't want to lose sight of. because we will easily forget those real human feelings that are still very much at play here. Even with that positive report, that still does not say that he is up playing and everything is all grand and fine. So all of that is still on the table. So that's just the one thing that we should all just make sure we're a little bit more sensitive and understanding for as well as we proceed, with these updates and stuff like that on the football side.
Agreed. And I think it feels like everyone involved here is doing a pretty good job of like just looking out for each other, making sure everyone's okay. Because you're right, life got to move on still. The machine does eventually got to move on, but at the same time, can we do it in a way where we're looking out for each other? And I feel like that's what we're doing in a way. And the whole thing about the seating,
give and take, so to speak, man.
Right. The seating and maybe not having a home field advantage for the AFC Championship game, playing it at a neutral site, not playing the Bills-Bengals game, including the A team. I think it does. It can do everything where it's still cognizant of the Bills and Bengals who are involved in that Monday night game. Yeah. Still cognizant of all that. But then also it's even being fair to the other teams that have worked their asses off all year that are fighting for the 7th seed too. I just feel like, I feel like they're going in the right direction with this. We'll obviously be interested to see what they come to for their final conclusion. But if that's like the premise right there, I'm really liking that. Yeah. I really am.
Like I said, I didn't see a lot of issue with it, man, because it's never going to be perfect. Somebody is going to get slighted in some way, and somebody's going to get an advantage in some way. There are going to be people making the case that if the Steelers get into the postseason, we got lucky because of this rule. If that is the case, I mean, it's a one-off. So, okay, it is what it is. But I just think that that's the compromise that the NFL and the brotherhood of the players and the coaches and the organizations, I think that's just them coming together and saying, I don't care about what the fans might say. I don't care about what the media. I don't care about the money part of it. Let's do what's best for us. And I think that's what this approach is. And as a competitor who's been on, the side where you're fighting for that 1 seed or you're fighting for that bye week, have the bye week. On the other side where you're sneaking in as that last team to get into the wild card and you got to win that last game and get help outside the stadium. I just think that this balances it out with the situation that is currently at hand, man.
Yeah, an unprecedented situation. So you make adjustments.
Absolutely.
You make common sense decisions. I think that's what this is, because maybe there's some complaints out there to, oh, man, some of the teams that were out of it last week, they sat some players, and now all of a sudden there's an A seed, and they would still be in it. You know what I mean? If they wouldn't have done certain things over the last couple of weeks. I mean, that's just whatever, man. Like no one was predicting this to happen. So it happened. Yeah. It's new information. Then now you make adjustments, and this is, in my opinion, the most common sense way to go about it.
Yeah, and I think if the situation was like finished in the sense that he was already recovered out the hospital, I think it's a different scenario. But because it's still such a high sensitivity, a high, just touch and go scenario. Yeah, if he's recovered, if it was different, I think you're right. They would go ahead and play it. But because it's still so touch and go, I mean, you see how we just reacting off of just him saying he opened his eyes and was grabbing a hand. You know what I mean? Like, that's still, when you're talking about the journey, that's like the beginning stage is still in that capacity. But I think that's also why this is being handled as it's been, because of that. It's still very fluid. It's still, just a lot riding on, his recovery right now.
Anything else with that? I don't think there's any new information out right now. I'm not seeing anything. What do you think of the potential 8th NFC team?
So initially,
it would be bad. I mean, it could be. I mean, that'd be interesting because it'd be either like the Seahawks, Lions, or Packers. Those are all interesting teams, right?
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think you balance it out. It's cool. I think if you make that stance that there's no bye week AFC because of the 8th playoff team, then I think you might need to do something like that NFC. But once again, I think now you might be flirting with penalizing the NFC side of it. But then at the same time,
Eagles are collapsing anyway.
Well, I just think like all the NFC teams though right now that are vying for it, it's just kind of like, man, we've done this to put ourselves in this position, and this isn't even in our conference. But that's the weird dynamic with this, because if you make it on the AFC side, it's not like we're just talking regular season. We're talking Super Bowl now. We're talking competing for that. And you get in that bye week can be the difference between your guy just being 70% healthy versus my guy being 50% healthy. And that's the difference in this game. So, that's going to be interesting though, man. I don't hate it.
I'm fine with it either way.
Yeah, if they make it fair and do 8 teams, NFC and AFC, no bye week, and make everybody run the gauntlet, I'm down with it because this is clearly a one-off, once in a lifetime, hopefully, situation. If they also decided to just say we're only going to make this new amendment for the AFC for this season and leave the NFC as it is, I would understand that as well, and I would just simply say luck of the draw. You can't determine what conference stuff like this might happen in or when tragedy might strike, and tragedy is never
we're all
convenient.
in this together as a league, and that's the NFL.
Tragedy is never convenient. It's not like it tells you, hey, man, we're going to schedule it for this day at this time. You got all your ducks in a row, everybody good. It don't always work like that. Sometimes it just happens, and I think right now that's, the pivot and the adjustments that are being made off of it. But yeah, collectively, man, I think they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, man, in terms of handling it at a good pace and with good sensitivity.
Is it too good to be true? In terms of, I don't think 8th team, this helps the Steelers.
I don't think it's too good to be true. I think it still would kind of tap back into what TG was saying, though, when he talked about the whole trap game element of it, because you feel like you can sigh. And if you hear that now we got 8 teams that are getting in, and now you're not as dependent on the Bills to win, and you're not as dependent on this other stuff.
I guess it's just one of the games we would need them to lose,
see what I mean?
Right?
So I think, but that's if you follow the TG narrative. And I can understand that narrative because he is accurate.
I feel like we'd be more motivated in a way.
It goes both ways, just speaking from experience. And think about here in Pittsburgh, 14 through 17. We would have times where we went on runs where you would win 9, 10 in a row, right? We also had times where it was 4 in a row, then you drop a stinker. 3 in a row, then you drop one. And that would be it because we always would break.
Tomlin game.
Yeah, that's what y'all would call it, right? Y'all would call it that. But the thing is, you break the season down into quarters. During that time, it was 16 games. So when we're sitting here and we done won the first 3 games out the month, and coach is like, you got to win the quarter. Just win the quarter, win the quarter. We're like, bro, we done won 3. We still gonna come out here and do our thing, but I ain't tripping, coach, if we lose this one. Like, not saying that that's really the mindset, but that's kind of what creeps in, so to speak, when you're having that mentality. So that's why
Don't tell me you said that to Coach T.
No, we've never said that, but you understand the human element of it, right? If every time I'm telling you the significance of you got to win 4 quarters, I'm in Buffalo and we're going 1-3 in 4 quarters. We're going 1-3 for these 4 games. We're going 2-2, and we're like, thank you, man. This was a great month. And in Pittsburgh, it's 3-0, 4-0, or it's 3-0 going into that last game. Oh, all right, we ended up 3-1 this month. Oh, we 4-0 this month. You sitting here like, bro, I'm not tripping right now, bro. Like, I'm preparing because I'm a professional, but that edge, it's what's that? The slang that everybody says, man, a hungry dog versus like a starving dog. A fed dog versus a starving dog. I understand that 1,000%, man. When you're starving, bro, it's just a different mentality of how you approach it, how you prepare. When you're playing and you think, man, this team is better than us or we really might lose this one, you prepare with that type of fear, that edge of, man, I don't want to get embarrassed. When you got that edge and you're confident, you're like, bro, I got this, but even if I don't, I still got this. And that's what we get in trouble on every once in a while. Wasn't often, but every once in a while.
I just wonder if Pro Football Talk here is going to be fake news or not. We'll find out.
Well, no, they've been
about
pretty.
The 8th team.
No, they're pretty tapped in. I know they're usually with more like the NBCs and stuff like that in terms of their connects. So we'll see. Either way, man, it's good for us to talk about. I could dig it. I'm for it.
I know. I'm trying to just get the updates here.
I don't like it. It's nothing that I don't like about it. I actually like it a lot. Yeah. I like it for the Steelers. I like it for all the other teams that are, like I said, just on the threshold, man.
It's just the most common sense solution right now. It really is.
Absolutely.
And it just so happens to benefit the Steelers' playoff chances a little bit.
It's a win-win. Hey.
I feel like I would say this if the Steelers were out of it, or if the Steelers were already locked in. I feel like I would say that.
Deke, you're apologizing for good fortune. When the universe gives you good fortune, you say thank you, and you take that good fortune. Let's be real. Deke, we've all experienced plenty of bad fortune, right? We don't need to apologize for anything good that happens for us, Deke. This is good news.
And we're one of those teams that no one wants to play right now.
Absolutely, man. We are not about to apologize for good fortune. Nah,
6-2 over our last 8 games.
Hey, do you apologize for ugly wins?
William Jackson's getting a little healthy.
Do you apologize for 4th quarter comebacks? Do you apologize when it doesn't have style points, but you got the dub? No, we just take it. So we will take this, and we're appreciative greatly.
Okay. See, I'm seeing some conflicting reports out here. I don't know what's fake news or not, though. I mean, this is Twitter, so.
Well, it's nothing that necessarily I would say is like strong fake or not, but it's more speculation because this is fluid. There isn't a hard answer for any of it just yet. The NFL hasn't made a hard decision just yet. You type in NFL.com, they don't have it concrete just yet. So, yeah.
Because I'm seeing some Browns clown on here talking about the Browns 3-way tie. Somehow being still in it with an 8th team.
I mean,
and then he's saying,
but that's not. Like none of us have done the math, at least to that extent, on what an 8-team playoff would look like with the current situation of how do they classify Bills Bengals? Is it just no contest? Is it a tie up there? Is it just doesn't show up on their win-loss record? What is any of that? Like, I think that everybody is just kind of just figuring it out, and if they got a slither of hope, they're looking for it.
Because then this guy, I don't know. I'm all pissed off at this guy right now. But now he's saying,
well, because you don't want it to be a scenario if the Browns beat us, they get in?
Well, no.
Because either way, we got to win.
He's talking about it, and then like his next tweet it says the NFL won't be adding an 8th playoff team, but it was fun to dream about for a few minutes.
Yeah, so is it.
What do you mean? Like, where's his information come from?
Exactly. So either way for us, man, we still got action whether it's 7 or 8. You feel me?
Hold on. He's got a blue Twitter verification. Is it? It's Twitter blue. This dude's fake.
He said it's Twitter blue.
It's Twitter blue anyway.
Oh, it's one of them like paid for ones?
Yeah.
Oh,
so never mind. I saw the blue check mark. It got me riled up. I'm like, wait, what does this dude know? But then I just looked. Twitter blue.
Yeah, that is a thing. Yeah. So it's frowned upon if it's paid for?
I don't know.
Oh, no.
Fake check.
That's funny.
Fake
He
check
got
mark.
the fake check. Hey. Shout out.
Do you want me to hit these super chats? Or is there anything else? Or more around the league?
Yeah, you know what? Let's... No, I didn't want to get this around the league topic in there real quick, man. I can't even fake.
Okay.
Let's tap into that last one real quick.
Last one. What do you got?
Or not
You
the last-
got it or
no,
me?
The one we were talking about, the Hall of Fame stuff.
Oh.
You got that on you?
Oh yeah. I even got more. I got like around the league stuff too. Like,
Oh, all right. Oh, so we can spin it both ways then.
no.
Okay,
I
okay,
said we
okay.
did the finalists though. Maybe we could do that for later in the podcast.
Yeah, let's do that then. Yeah, so let's talk the finalists now. See where we're at time wise. Supers in between that. Spillane call round 4. Then once we're done with that convo, catch back up on all supers. Start the official preview, and then we'll go from there. Stack paper and stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's the annual time of the year where Hines Ward gets snubbed from the Hall of Fame. Was listed as a semifinalist.
SpaghettiOs.
Didn't make it as a finalist for the modern era players.
Yeah.
James Harrison was also a semifinalist. He didn't make it. So I'll list off the 15 finalists. You give me your reaction. Jared Allen, defensive end.
Finalists, I respect it.
Willie Anderson, offensive tackle, Bengals.
Not all the way familiar, but I just trust their judgment on it with offense lineman. With him at least, because like I said, I didn't follow him like that.
I don't trust it. Rondé Barber, defensive back.
Respectable.
Dwight Freeney, defensive end.
Absolutely a finalist. Yeah.
Devin Hester.
He should be first ballot.
Torrey Holt.
Ooh, finalist.
Andre Johnson.
I feel like he needs to be in right now. I'll go first ballot him. Because it's first time for him, right? No, I think is this first or second?
So, hold on. 2016 was his last year with the Titans.
So
now,
this is first. Yeah. Yeah.
I think he'll get in at some point.
I like him going early. I like him now.
Albert Lewis, cornerback, 83 to 93.
Not all the way familiar.
With the Chiefs. Oh, wait. And then he also played for the Raiders from 94 to 90. Excuse me, 98. Darrelle Revis.
First ballot. Put him in.
Joe Thomas.
First ballot. Put him in.
Zach Thomas. Dolphins and Cowboys.
Debatable. Not like Zach, but the Zach argument is the Junior Seau argument.
What's that argument?
Just in the sense of, like, for Zach, I don't know if he's going to, like, I don't know if he's getting in. Unless, like, you know, it didn't go all the way good for him
I feel like he's got a decent case. I was looking
Yeah,
at some of his stuff.
But think about this. Are you taking Zach Thomas or would you take Patrick Willis that's on that same list?
Right.
That's the issues. You see what I mean? Like,
What do they got to pick? They got to pick 7 of these guys?
no, I thought it was 5.
Just 5.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's what I thought it was 5, right? It's not?
I'm not sure. I mean,
We
they
know
got to
these past couple
trim
years they've
it
been
down to
changing it
something.
up too, though. Yeah.
Yeah, because then they start throwing in
Right.
the throwback players and stuff.
Man, like I said, I like Zach a ton though, because Zach, man, he sawed off. He fired him up. And back in the day when I was a Cowboys fan, so I was rocking with that.
1 year. Oh, wait.
But he was a Dolphin though. He was nice down there. Him it was a Jason Taylor and stuff. So yeah.
DeMarcus Ware.
I love him. He's the one for me where I'm stuck between him and Freeney. Because I feel like him, Freeney, and Allen all should get in at some point. But Freeney and Ware, I feel like Ware, I love the fact that Ware did it at 2 spots too. You know what I mean? Dallas and then went in Denver and then one in Denver. But Freeney, I mean, he just, he's an icon with a spin move. Like, he had a platinum move and it's just like freaky. Whereas DeMarcus, like, he gonna hit you with whatever. But I just think of DeMarcus is just like a freaky, just dope player, size, all that. Whereas Freeney was a little bit shorter, more sawed off. Didn't even look like he had like a build for that. But his get off and that spin move, and you could not stop it. He had them half sleeves on. You look at a lot of my pictures, man, I got them half sleeves on. I was a Freeney type of dude, okay? That's all I'm saying. Absolutely. Dwight Freeney, and then for my OG, Simeon Rice, Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they won the Super Bowl. Absolutely. So that's always been that. So, yeah, bro. I'm stuck between them two dudes. Yeah.
Reggie Wayne?
Oh, God. Because with him and Dre and Holt, I respect him as a finalist. I respect it as a finalist.
Willis?
Patrick Willis, yeah, I feel like he's supposed to be in. Yeah.
Darren Woodson.
He's questionable to me as a finalist. I like him a lot too, but I don't know.
I looked him up. He's actually way better than what I remember.
He was good, yeah.
I started getting into football those early 2000s, and that was on the back end of his career.
Yeah.
But he was on those teams that won the Super Bowls in the 90s.
But that's my issue too. I remember more of the latter versus that part. But I don't know. I don't know if I'd have him as a finalist right now, man. Who else we got up there?
That's it.
That's it.
15.
So, if we had to say right now the 5 that are going to get in, I will go.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to go Darrelle Revis, Joe Thomas, Devin Hester. Give me.
Wow, the Hester one's interesting. Like, you're all in.
Give me Patrick Willis, and I will go. I'm stuck on this 5th one. Gosh.
Yeah, if you're only picking 5.
Yeah. Because I'm stuck between Andre Johnson, Dwight Freeney, and DeMarcus Ware for that 5th spot. Because I feel like Hester has to get in, bro. Like, he changed the game, bro. He was an icon. He changed the game, bro. From that position, too.
Listen.
It's unheard of. He weaponized it. He was unheard of. Unheard of, bro.
I mean, there was Dante Hall.
He ain't do it to that extent. He ain't do it to that level, though, bro.
So here's my thing.
Yeah.
I think Devin Hester should get in.
Hold on. Before I forget, I'll say my last one. I'll go DeMarcus Ware, Cowboys left. All right.
5 from this group?
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah, Joe Thomas and Revis, I feel like are
they're
lost, right?
shoe-ins, yeah.
Man, I was looking up Jared Allen's stats yesterday.
Oh, so you remember when
all 3 of those edge rushers, man.
So you remember when we talked about Debo and we had that conversation, and I was like, this is part of that issue. You look at their sack numbers, it's ridiculous. And that's what they want in that hall, like that type of stuff. Like, it's crazy. Like, Debo's case to me is still kind of similar to Hines' case when you talk about the most iconic Super Bowl play, talk about the most feared defender during that time.
Those are 3 locks. I'm with you.
So how you feeling, Andre Johnson? You a DeMarcus Ware? Or you
I think
Darren
Hines
Woodson?
and James Harrison should be the last 2.
Okay,
to be honest with you.
Okay.
Damn. Yeah, this is tough because I feel like Hines is in
He's in their class.
The receiver class.
I feel like he's
Holt,
in that class.
Johnson,
Yeah.
all these dudes. But he's got the better like Super Bowl accolades in the playoffs too.
Yeah.
And just it was a different style he played.
Yeah.
We didn't ask him to do what those receivers did just because we had a different offense. We had a rookie Big Ben. We were running the ball.
I always like this dynamic because you speak on it because you feel like Hines was better than those type of dudes. Whereas for me, I wasn't the fan back then. So I love them dudes more than Hines during that time frame. So that's why for me, I don't see it as like off. I'm like, yo, I think they're in the same category, but I think those guys, I would have them slightly ahead of Hines. Because when I think of Hines' postseason success, I say, man, Andre Johnson with the Texans, was he ever going to get that type of opportunity, man? You know what I mean? Like, and that's the stuff where I'm like, I don't want to penalize them for that, but at the same time, that's part of Hines' case also.
Yeah, stepped up in big moments.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like it goes both ways with it. Absolutely.
No, so I still need to stick to this list though. I'm
Yeah.
getting sidetracked here talking about Hines and Harrison.
Yeah.
So we could talk about that later. These guys though. Yeah, Willis Thomas,
That's a
Joe
tough one.
Thomas, and Darrell Revis. I mean, I would say one of these edge rushers, Marcus.
That's why. Right.
I don't know.
Coin flip, bro.
I don't know, man.
I said Jared Allen, Dwight Freeton, and DeMarcus Ware.
All three
coin
should get
flip
in.
me, bro.
All
coin
three
flip
should get
me.
in.
Like seriously, yeah.
All three should get in.
When you talk to receivers, I'm
yeah.
like, how Torrey Holt, Andre Johnson. I'm like, bro, they should both be in. You
think,
talk about who's the other receiver that was up there? Reggie Wayne.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, they should be in.
I think I would go Andre Johnson over Holt and Wayne.
I would because of who the quarterback was.
I think I would.
If you cooking with he had Schaub. He definitely had Schaub. Did he get a car as well?
Early on,
Yeah.
Derek Carr.
Yeah. I'm like, man, he went
Not
through
Derek Carr, David Carr.
David Carr,
the
yeah.
older brother. Yeah, yeah.
The not so good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went through both of them, man. And he put those type of numbers up on top of that.
It's tough, but
That
I
is
mean,
crazy,
I'm with you.
yeah.
They're all in the same boat. Torrey Holt's got a Super Bowl, correct, with the Rams.
Yeah.
And then
And Reggie got one with the Colts.
yeah, and both of those were just steady, really good
Yeah.
players. I'd go Andre Johnson if I had to pick between those receivers. And then I think Devin Hester should get it. He needs to wait a little bit more, though, in my opinion.
Because he plays special teams?
No, not necessarily that. There was a really detrimental stat that I saw.
As it pertains to him
Devin
in the
Hester.
return game?
No.
Because I'm
just
talking
in general.
he's
I
a
know
return man,
I know it's
bro.
specifically returning.
He's a return man. He's a return man.
I get it. And that's why I do think he should be in the Hall of Fame because I do think he was an innovator from that standpoint. Like he was with those Bears. Holy hell!
I'm trying
Early
to tell
on in
you
his career,
something. Okay.
yeah, it was crazy.
Uh,
It was crazy. But there's one. Hold on, I just want to pull this up for you. I need to get your take. Ted Ginn Jr. 15,000 all-purpose, 15,742 all-purpose yards. This is from @Barry on here,
yeah.
aka Barry McCockner. 42 career touchdowns, 2 Super Bowl appearances. Devin Hester, 14,455 all-purpose yards, 37 career touchdowns, 1 Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah, Ted Ginn plays on offense a lot more. Everybody knows that. Ted Ginn's a deep threat still, man. That's it.
He did some returning too. I mean,
Yeah,
listen, I think
that's the only
Devin Hester
difference,
should be in. I really do,
Yeah.
but
Because I think of that
it's hard
stuff-
for me. I don't know if Devin Hester should be over Hines though, even
But see, I think
or even over those receivers.
But once again, when I think of it like this, right? When you bring up the all-purpose stuff, that's kind of like if I'm talking Patrick Wilson, I'm talking about how many sacks does he have? How did he have a ton of PBUs as well? It's like, man, how many tackles did this man have? He was an inside linebacker. Was he getting tackles, forced fumbles, TFLs, like impact? What was the defense's rank like? You know what I mean? Because that's what he was supposed to be doing. So when I think of Devin, I think exclusively him in the return game, and that is a weapon. I think of how it became where people would not kick in his vicinity. Before that was a cool thing. How people scored touchdowns off of them trying not to kick to him. Like, just the creativity of how to use him as a decoy at times. Like, he did that as special teams as a return man, and not just in the sense of like tackles, because we don't respect tackles. That's why I got like Steve Tasker, who is one of the greatest in terms of just getting tackles on special teams, isn't in this conversation. But he actually put points on the board, scored touchdowns, and did it in the Super Bowl as well. One of the most iconic returns. You know, with the lead up and the storyline and all that type of stuff, man. So, yeah, I just think of him just in that sense. I think that he is just as big at his position as any of those receivers, any of those rushers, any of those other people that are up there at their spot. Like, when I think of Hines as a receiver, I'm like, yes, Hines was an elite player. He's in that class. And I think of Devin Hester as a return man, an elite player. He's in that elite class. Like, we don't speak on a ton of elite returners. That's why we say what? Hester. We say Dante Hall. And then from there, it gets real scarce in terms of who we... Tyreek Hill had a little bit of a run, but even his run wasn't as long or as crazy as Hester's. And that's the other thing when I think of, like, the longevity that went with it, too.
I do think he should get in.
It's the return man element, though. That's the changes everything. It
Changes everything. It may become a slippery slope because then it's like, does Matthew Slater get in? Well, I don't think he should get in.
But I don't think Matthew should get in if Steve Tasker isn't in. Matthew was great, but Steve Tasker was way better. But nobody's going to have that type of conversation unless you're a special teams guy. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like Devin Hester, I say yes because he's the outlier. He was scoring points. And I would classify points on special teams and not just field goals either. Like, you're putting 6 up. I look at that and I say, yes, that is Hall of Fame to that level because it's hard for me to make a case for any other elite special teams cover guy, Matthew Slater, whether it was a Kasim Osgood, whether it's any of these other guys that have played during this generation, or even now, granted, I'm not putting those guys in Hall of Fame categories, but just in the sense of like impact special team players that make ton of tackles, Pro Bowls, All Pros, money, and all that type of stuff. It just doesn't hit the same to me. But when you're talking about a return man that was doing that for as long as he did, that does hold a little bit more weight. I look at that kind of like how I look at Sebastian Janikowski. When Seabass retires, I'm like, that's a Hall of Famer. When Adam Vinatieri retires, I'm like, that's a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? Like, I think of those type of dudes, and Devin to me is in that type of space. Now I'm getting. Oh, let me see. I think
it's an early call.
Yeah, let's see. Hold on. Hello. Yo, good, baby. How you, man?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Man, I will appreciate you again.
Get ready for the interview with Steelers linebacker, number 41, Robert Spillane. Coming at you.
All right, you got me over there?
You can hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All righty. We are good. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have been teasing it. We have been talking about him, and we are finally excited because we got him right here on the show, man. Out of Western Michigan, 5th-year linebacker, number 41, Robert Spillane. First off, bro, appreciate you taking time, man, to jump on the show with us, man. How's everything been with you, man?
Hey, thank you, Arthur. I appreciate that. First things first, I just want to say our continued prayers go out to Demar Hamlin and his family and the Bills organization. And, that's still weighing heavy on my heart. And just to hear that he is communicating back and looking on the up and up. So our prayers continue to go out to him.
No, absolutely. And I'm glad you actually spoke on that, man. Just from a team's perspective, and then even for you personally, how have you guys been processing this, and what has been the messaging, so to speak, within the organization as you guys still have to prepare for Sunday?
At this point, we can just send our prayers. And as a player of the NFL, I feel like that's one of my NFL brothers. I don't have a personal relationship with him, but many of the guys on the team do have really tight bonds with him.
Absolutely.
And just being one of my NFL brothers, my heart goes out to him and his family. And I was just proud at how the NFL came together. The captains of the team decided not to play the game, and just the support and love that's gone out to him is all deserved. And I'm just proud to be part of the NFL at this point.
No, you're absolutely right, man. Absolutely right. And like you said, man, just continue thoughts and prayers for him, for everybody, that's impacted by this situation, man. And even you guys also, man, because I know mentally and emotionally that's not easy for you guys, with just the closeness of it. And like you said, that NFL brotherhood, man. So like I said, all of you guys, man, we definitely praying for y'all and thinking about y'all, man.
Thank you.
All right, first question I got for you. What has it been like with Brian Flores in the linebacker building? What have you learned most from him? How has he made you a better linebacker?
Working with Coach Flo has really been an honor and a privilege. Him being an NFL coach or NFL head coach, He has so much knowledge of the game and a very clear and precise way to communicate it. So throughout this year, we've been able to bounce ideas off each other and really come up with how we want to get stuff done. And that's one thing that I really respect and love about Coach Flo is his ability to be willing to work with a player and discuss further on concepts and schemes, and he's not afraid to ever have those conversations.
No, respect that right there, man. And like you said, it is a difference, man, when you have one of those guys who have been a head coach, coming in and giving you those type of intimate talks on linebacker specifics and stuff like that, man. So no, I like that a lot, man. And I was kind of trying to be chill about you and everything, but you are balling out this year. I see your numbers. You putting together this career year on yourself. So I just need to know, man, what do you attribute all the success that you've been having this year to, man? You're playing a way more in terms of that linebacker spot versus the special teams role. So just talk about what has been the big difference for you this season versus, your other years?
Yeah, I think it's a collection of things. And one of those things is my continual want to get better at the game. I never feel like I've been a guy that's arrived. So I've always been scrapping and fighting. And that work is mostly put in during these off seasons when nobody's watching. And you decide to put in that extra work because it's going to pay off later in the year. And I've never taken playing for the NFL for granted. So being in that locker room is a blessing and an honor. And I want to continue to be able to put myself in one of those seats. So when my number is called upon, I want to go out there and make plays and be a good team.
Respect. And what's been the biggest difference for you preparation wise then now in your role where you are not just preparing for special teams, you're preparing for inside linebacker stuff. So just talk about what's the difference in that dynamic for you in those two roles.
Well, I've been an inside linebacker for 3 years. I've been a starter. I've looked at myself as the starter since the moment Devin went down 3 years ago. I proved to myself that I belong in this league and I earned my stripes. I feel like nothing's really been given to me, but I've gone out there and earned it every day.
No, absolutely.
And,
yeah.
That's what it comes down to. And I don't really care about what the outside world, but I do feel that respect and earned love from my teammates and coaches. So I'm thankful for them.
No, without a doubt, man, without a doubt. And yeah, we definitely big supporters over here as well, man. And, this question right here kind of goes just to the overall mindset of the squad, man. But just talk about how have you guys been able to just continually overcome all the different distractions and adversity that has popped up this season, whether we're talking the quarterback situation, the wins and losses, the passing of Franco Harris, obviously the Demar Hamlin situation. Just you guys seem so resilient this season. Could you just talk about that a little bit in sense of how that's been, or what, if there is something that, maybe isn't out there publicly that you guys have been doing to just stay connected through all this stuff?
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think we're all professionals, and when we sign that piece of paper, we know that we're going to have to give up things in our lives maybe and to focus on the game. So at the end of the day, guys are always willing to come in to work because they know that's what it takes to stay in the NFL, to make plays. So I think it really can kind of bring teams together. And I've seen our team come together and rally behind Kenny and our defense really step it up. And I'm just proud to be a part of this team. And I hope we can go out there and not be a part of the wrong side of history when it comes to Tomlin.
Ooh.
I don't want to be that first team.
So this is a big deal then.
So that's been talked about, I know, not openly in team meetings, but between the players, nobody wants to be a part of that history.
Don't be that team. Oh, don't be that team.
We're glad you brought that up because we did just have a guest on yesterday that was wondering if this could be, how would you call it, a trap game coming up here. Yeah. But from you saying that, I feel like the motivation's got to be at 110%, right?
Yeah, I don't like to say 110% because the motivation's always on go. And I think that applying 110% would be saying that you're lacking in other weeks. But I like to keep that same forward body lean, coming to meetings ready, coming to practice ready.
Let's go.
I've seen that in our team over these last few weeks, and it feels good. It feels good leaving Baltimore and being able to take that plane ride home in peace with your teammates rather than heads down. So there's a lot on the line this week. Possible playoff contention. Like I said, Tomlin's history, which is our history, intertwined. So we don't want to be on the wrong side of that. And for our families, at the end of the day, that's why we play this game, to be able to support the ones we love and for that. So I know nobody wants to take a break this week. We're all on the gas pedal going forward.
That's great to hear.
I love that. Love that.
Going back to like the bye week, then, what do you think? Was there a change? Like, because obviously we're 2-6 going into the bye. Now we're 6-2. Like, what do you credit that to? Like, what happened in that week? Was there anything you think crazy or like an outlier thing that happened, or was it just you guys were still working?
No, I feel like I've honestly been too focused on each individual week to go back and look at the season as a whole. I try to save that for after the season, because during the season you got so much other stuff that's going through your mind, like our adjustments on the week, who we're playing, the personnel matchups, everything. So I don't have time to address big picture ideas like that, but I'm sure after the season I'll be able to give you a better answer on that.
Hey, hit him with the singularly focused, baby. Hey, that's that singularly focused. Yes, Lord.
And it's not just something I'm saying.
No,
it's
like
the
truth.
I believe it.
That facts is the truth. Yes.
You get on with your week. You play your game on Sunday. You learn from your mistakes on Monday, and you move on. I mean, that's like how it is in the NFL. So
24-hour rule.
You don't have too much time to sit back and analyze stuff like that, but I'm sure Tomlin would have a good answer for you.
Now, you mentioned your family, and we talked about your grandpa, I think the first time we had you on, but I wanted to dig a little deeper. Like, when he played for the Steelers back in 1954, did he pass down any stories of what that was like playing for the Steelers during that era? Because we just had the Franco Harris Immaculate Reception, the 50th anniversary and everything, talking about how important Franco was to the franchise. And that, like, he basically, like, changed the trajectory. Like, that era in the 70s changed the trajectory of what the Steelers are all about. Did your Pat pass down any stories or just any tidbits of what it was like playing for the Steelers in the 50s?
There's not one particular story that I can really come back and say that he told me of his time at the Steelers, but the legacy that I do love and want my grandfather's legacy to live on was one that he gave love to the people. He showed his love, and in that way I want to give back. And I don't know, it's hard to say, but he was just such an inclusive man who wanted everyone to feel like they were part of the family, like they were friends. So I live under his legacy, and I always will, and I take that as an honor as well. So
no, absolutely, man. And hey, keep making them proud, baby. Keep making them proud. Let's go.
Oh, I got a lot of people that are living I got to make proud too.
Hey,
so.
that too. Absolutely, man. I like the context right there, man. Yes. Yeah. Now, you did speak on earlier, man, just talked about the defense kind of rallying around, the decision to go with Kenny Pickett and stuff like that. But if you could just talk about what has impressed you the most with your time, as Kenny's teammate, whether it's been him in practice, games, or how he conducts himself in the meetings, just whatever it is. But what has impressed you the most in terms of watching Kenny?
Yeah, I loved how Kenny originally came in. He never opened his mouth and said he deserves to be a starter, but he came in and worked. And he worked and he worked and he worked. And that's the sort of things that gets you respect from your teammates. I mean, people love to see a young guy come in here and work. Similar story with Mark Robinson. I got major respect for him because he didn't open his mouth one time. He came in here and dedicated himself to get better every day. So as an older guy, you respect guys like that. So Kenny came in doing that and then earned the ability to be able to lead his guys. And he stepped into that role with ease and with comfortability. So being a defensive player, I'm not intimate in those huddles, but it seems that he has control of the offense at a young age. So
respect.
We're excited for it.
Now, you mentioned dudes that are hardworking. What about Jaylen Warren? Because you, as linebackers, work kind of closely with the running backs. Did you have any inkling, or was there a tell that Jaylen Warren could have this type of role going back to like the off season?
For sure. I think a lot of people were able to identify early on in training camp that this kid was going to be a force to reckon with. You know, being an undrafted kid, I feel like me and him have bonds in that way. I mean, I always try to, you know, see the undrafted guys that are going to end up making it, like James Pierre, and we have other guys that are seen, but like, it's kind of like, you know, everyone has their draft class, but that's our undrafted class. So.
Respect. No, put some stamps on it. Absolutely. Yes.
So I got respect for those guys, and early on, he showed his ability and his want to and his determination to make plays, and he goes out there and does it on a consistent basis.
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, we've talked to you kind of about, you know, the dynamic of the team and just kind of the mindset, but just also want to focus in on the inside linebacker room, because it's awesome to see how all of you guys have been playing significant snaps, man, whether it's Miles Jack, whether it's been Devin Bush, and then of lately even Mark Robinson. But if you could just talk about what that dynamic is like for you guys. Do y'all look at that as like we're pushing each other? Is it a little bit of like a friendly rivalry going on? How does that play out for you guys on a day-to-day?
I think at the end of the day, we all wish we could be on the field at one time. Everyone's got that, you know, that killer mindset where they want to be the ones making the play. And I think Coach Flo has done a great job getting 4 guys ready to play. So I trust whoever I stand next to in that huddle because of the reps we've put in, because of the trust that we have through meetings and understanding. And at the end of the day, those are my brothers. Those are the guys I spend most of my day with every day.
Yeah.
And I love being able to get to work with them on and off the field, getting to know who they are as people. So, yeah, I love Devin, Miles, Mark, Deuce, Chico.
Let's go.
Tay,
Let's go.
All those guys.
Let's go.
So, even the guys that are no longer part of this room, like UG and T-Gray and others. So, like, I got love for those guys, and I know they support me as well. So we all want to see each other winning, essentially.
Nah, that's really good to hear, man. And like you said, I had to ask because I've been a part of those groups where sometimes it is all love and other times it's a little bit more, you know, contentious and stuff like that, man. But that is awesome to hear, man, that
there's a lot of mutual respect there in the rooms.
No, absolutely, man. Definitely glad to hear that. Now, we know you got the big game coming up this weekend, man. Cleveland Browns. If you could, man, just talk a little bit about that matchup, man, the significance of it, and, you know, just how you're feeling, man, when you watch them on tape, certain things that you feel that they do really well for you or that you think they do well. Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah, studying them this week has been fun because it's our first time really getting to study Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
We saw him here, I want to say 3 years ago, and he was a special talent then, and he still is. So, it's fun when you get to go up against guys like that at a quarterback position. But personal matchups, for me, I know Nick Chubb has got to be one of the top 2, if not 1, running back in the league. So anytime you get that challenge as an inside linebacker, you know it's a game that you really got to step up. And we're expecting them to run the ball, try to get the ball to Njoku, who's a very versatile tight end, can catch the ball all over the field. Mm-hmm. He's like a small forward running out there. So we're going to have to stand up big in those matchups. And, you know, I think we got the guys to do it, and I think we got the schematics to do it. So it'll be fun. All these games are fun.
Nah, let's go. Let's go. Now, I do have to ask you this, man, because, you know, it's contract year and all that stuff, and it's at the end of the season. You don't have to go all the way in depth, but just simply, if, you know, you were able to come back in Pittsburgh, man, would you be open to doing that? Or would you want to open and, you know, and test the market and stuff like that once this contract ends?
You know, I got one goal on my mind. You know this. Like, but you have to ask it, I know, but at the end of the day, nothing matters but this game that's standing right in front of us.
There we go.
Like, that does not cross my mind. Like, I'm hoping we get to play for the next few weeks coming up. Yeah. And if the chips fall on the table the right way, we will be. So, that's all that's really to focus on right now.
Respect.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a fan question here. We got
Yes, sir.
This is from Shay Willie 717. What is Robert Spillane's favorite beer?
My favorite beer?
Yeah,
I try to stay away from beer.
I don't blame you.
All right.
I'm building a pretty bad beer gut over these last 2 or 3 years.
I'm really not a big beer drinker. One thing I do enjoy after a game, you know, a hard-fought Sunday to kind of cool down, is a little bourbon.
Oh, okay.
On the rocks.
Okay.
And then I pour a little Irish cream in there and a little chai tea latte.
Oh, you fancy over there, man. What?
Put a little whipped cream on top with some cinnamon spice.
Hey, yo,
on the whipped
what?
cream.
You got your favorite house slippers, too, when you're drinking this drink, man. What we got going on
House
over here,
slippers.
man?
I got the onesie on. Wrapped up in a blanket watching the rest of the game.
Hey, see, I put a little bit of this up there. I got a little cream, a little whipped cream on this thing right here, too.
Oh, so you'll watch all the games, like, on a Sunday?
Pardon?
You'll watch, like, all the games on Sunday when you're not playing?
Yeah, it depends, but most of the time it's on the TV and I'm sitting down on the couch.
Okay.
Wait, Moats, you didn't, right?
Yeah, I wasn't ever a guy that really, like,
You didn't even
watched
watch
it
the
to that
Super Bowls.
extent. Yeah. But like I said, everybody's different with it, though, man.
Usually, if it's a home game and it's an early game, I'll have family in town, so it'll be on the TV.
Okay, I think we got the last question here, then. This is
Oh,
the
yeah.
last one for you.
Yes.
This is a big one. We've been asking every guest this season.
I feel like, Spillane, I feel like this question started right after we talked, right around the time after we finished talking with you, man. Dotson ended up coming on the show and being a guest. And this is how it started. So Deke, go ahead, give him the backstory. Here we go, baby.
Tweeted it out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So he said, I don't know if you even recall this. Last year, he said that he could defeat a cheetah in a 1-versus-1 match, like
hand-to-hand combat. No weapons, no running, just mano y mano.
I don't think Dotson's lying.
I kind of agreed with Dawson. I feel like Dawson could beat a cheetah. Do you think you could, though?
Oh, hey
now. In hand-to-hand combat?
Yeah, no weapons or
just
anything.
think
Cage
of it
match,
like it's a
MMA,
cage.
octagon, whatever.
There's going to be one animal walking out of the ring, and that's going to be me.
Oh!
So I'm not letting a cheetah take me down.
You hear that right there? It's only one animal walking out of here, baby, and it's going to be Spillane, all right? It's going to be that man. Let's go. Let's go, man.
What's your technique?
I'm not
you got a
going for
technique or anything?
Yeah, I'm going to let him get in, and I'm going to try to choke it out, like, full on.
Just all right, full on MMA, just choke him out. We've heard the choke approach, we've heard the headlock, we've heard
like a sucker punch.
Yeah, I think it was it my leg? He was gonna punch it and then just grab it and like choke it or something like that. Yeah. Okay, all right, okay. So we know.
I'm not saying it's gonna be a bloody mess. I mean, nobody wants to see that, but I mean, I'm sure somebody would want to see that, but not me. So I try to stay out of those confrontations.
There we go. But I like the confidence, though. I like the confidence. Hey, man. But, that's all we have for you today, man. We are grateful as heck, man, for you to come on the show with us again, man. And, yeah, man, just keep doing everything that you're doing both on and off the field, man. Big fans of you over here, man.
Appreciate you, Arthur. Appreciate you, Deke.
Oh, appreciate it, bro.
Have a good rest of your day.
No doubt. You too, man.
I'll talk to you.
Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Spillane, once again, Steelers inside linebacker.
Spillane knows my name.
Oh, you peeped that, right? Did you peep that?
Yeah.
Did you peep
I guess
that?
he knows me.
You peeped that, okay. Yeah.
I didn't know. So he came to that charity event.
Yeah, he spoke with you there. He was like, yo.
I think I tried dapping him. I forget what happened, but like he walked by me. I just said what's up, and I guess he recognized me.
At the charity event, that's when he pulled back up and was like, bro, yo, Mo, is this man Deke right? I was like, yeah. He was like, yo, man, I gotta get back on the show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
man. And now he's back, man. So I was like, yeah, that's dope. A couple weeks later, but I salute him, man. Absolutely.
I love the mentality.
I do too.
Like there was
he's business, bro.
Dude.
He's business.
Hey, going back to the bye week, like he wouldn't even let me finish the question. He was just like, I ain't messing with that. I don't even look back on the season.
But I
love that.
Let's talk big picture. Undrafted, right? He is strictly here. Whereas we talk to some of the other guys, it's like, yo, man, like you could just relax a little bit more. For him, he doesn't have that vibe just yet. And I respect the heck out of it, even though he does low key. He just doesn't realize like to what level it is. But it's like, yo, you do have a certain level, but that's the edge that, you know, when you're undrafted or even a late round guy, that's why you hear me and how TG talk or Vince Williams will talk. We talk about Antonio Brown. It's like, that's that like edge you always have to keep, man. So I definitely understand, you know, why he was like, that's why he started laughing, asking about the contract question. I'm like, he is not about to answer this right now, but we got to ask it anyways. But shout out to the homie though, Robert Spillane, man. And if y'all enjoyed the interview, make sure you hit the like button. And if you did not enjoy the interview, still hit the like button. But we appreciate you either way.
Do we got to tie up any loose ends on the finalists?
I think maybe. So, yeah, let's tap back into that real quick. Yeah.
I just want to say Hines Ward and James Harrison got snubbed from this. Willie Anderson, no. Devin Hester, in my opinion, no. Not in terms of over Hines, but yes, Devin Hester deserves to be in. I also think Hines Ward should be in. I'm just saying, like, because if you make the case of like Hines Ward and James Harrison should be on, you got to take some people off.
No, right? that's absolutely the case.
So those are two. I would also take off Albert Lewis. Dude's got I think he's got like 3 or 4 Pro Bowls, and they're just tossing him in like that. Almost like some of these dudes that they've been letting in the last couple of years. It's just unbelievable to me. And then, you know, between Torrey Holt, Andre Johnson, Reggie Wayne, take one of those dudes off. Put Hines in.
All right. So who's your hard five?
There's 3 or 4 guys that could be off, in my opinion. You put Hines or James Harrison on.
Okay. I was going to say, because that's always the conversation. We're going to take somebody off who we putting on, or if we're going to put somebody on who we taking off.
I thought I was with you. I thought Darren Woodson
was the one for me, bro.
I did some research. I'm like,
he's like that.
I mean, with the Super Bowls and some of his all-pro. Like,
okay.
I think you're right. We were just maybe a little too young. We caught him on the ladder half of his career.
Because I look at Darren Woodson, or if not Darren, I would say Zach Thomas and see, my big issue with putting Debo on
I feel like these are good finalists. I will say that. I think a lot of these guys actually should.
When I look at those rushers, I'm like, I don't feel like any of those 3 don't belong up there. You know, like I think if one of those guys was off right now and Debo was up there, I would be like, yo, you can't have a dude with this many career sacks not be up here. Like, yeah. Yeah, because you got to have Revis up there. You know what? Rondé Barber. Maybe I'll probably take him off. I would probably take him off. If I was gonna if I would pick another person, I'll probably pick him.
I didn't even think of him.
Because to me, I look at Rondé.
I thought he should have been a Hall of Famer already.
I mean, he's nice. He got the hardware.
I think he was pretty good.
No, he was. He's nice. He's a finalist. He's definitely nice. They're all nice. That's the other part. It's not like we're saying like a person sucks. It's just you got to nitpick when you're talking Hall of Famers.
Okay.
So if I'm nitpicking, I'm a nitpick.
I know, 100%. But I can understand your nitpick now looking back. I didn't even look at some of his stuff because I just thought he was a lock.
Nah.
I don't know if it was
the
Madden
name.
ratings always being like
listen.
96, 97 overall every year.
It was Madden. It was the twin brother.
He always had a high rating.
It was Madden. It was the brother in the league. It was him getting hot on the Buccaneers defense and then them winning the Super Bowl and doing it the way that they did. That changed a lot of how we thought about Rondé, man. Yeah. The same way everybody thought Tiki was a lot more nicer when he started holding that ball, you know, way up here. It was like, man, this Tiki dude, he might maybe a Hall of Fame too. Put him in.
He had a really nice 8 or 9 year peak from early 2000, like 01, 2000.
When with the Kerry Collins, I forgot who was the other receiver they had out there.
You're talking about Tiki?
Yeah, in New York. Yeah, okay. I was thinking about the brothers. Yep.
Yeah. So. Oof. All right, yeah.
But he would be the one for me.
Rondé could leave here too. I mean, 5 Pro Bowls, 3 All Pros, Hall of Fame, all 2000s team, Super Bowl champion.
He's nice as heck. Don't get it twisted.
He should. I think he should be in.
But to me, I look at him and I think of James Harrison in the same class to me. Like I'm like, yo, they're dope as heck. But do I look at Rondé in the same class as Troy, Ed Reed, Brian Dawkins? I personally don't. And that's kind of like my dilemma with Debo. It's like, I love Debo. You know me. I'm a Debo fan. Then it turned out he's my teammate. Then it was like, yo, that's my dude. So it was like, you know, I want him in. Same way I would love Peasy to get in. But it's just like, when I think of them versus a DeMarcus Ware, like we just talked about, versus a Dwight Freeney, like we just talked about, it's just like, yo, that just seems different. Even when I think of like Von Miller, you know what I mean? When his time's gonna come up, it's like
He should be first ballot.
you see what I mean? Like it just seems a little bit different when I'm thinking of some of those type of players. So that's like my big hiccup with it, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think Harrison should necessarily be first ballot or Hines. They should just get in. Based off,
I want them in though.
Literally
Absolutely.
based off
Absolutely,
who I'm
man.
seeing, they're letting in. Like granted, this dude was from Pitt, Jimbo Covert. Dude's an O lineman and had 2 Pro Bowls, and they just let him in last year.
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen? Who's the other? Was it Leroy Butler? I'm looking at his stat. He's got 3 or 4 Pro Bowls. Like, what?
Yeah.
So if they got those type of accolades, and we're leaving Hines Ward or James Harrison off, that doesn't add up to me.
And that's the part where I don't know, but at the same time,
Cliff Branch, didn't he make it?
But also, how are you evaluating offensive linemen? You know what I mean? We don't. It's not a position where it's numbers. It's a position where it's eyeball test. Who could tell that story? Whereas if we're hollering about numbers, for every case that a person would make for a receiver in the 2000s, it's going to be a person making a case for a guy in the 70s and saying that how the game was different, but they were dominant during their time frame. But then you think about when the version of receivers, the ABs, the Julios, and that version, and what their numbers are going to look like. When we start looking back on your Hines and company, you can be like, well, dang, man, their numbers are a little bit off. And then we'll be saying what? Well, the game was different back then too, man. It was passing, but it still wasn't to this extent. And I just think that that's the part where we kind of overlook them offensive linemen like that because their numbers are never evolving like that. And when we're trying to figure out Pro Bowls and all pros for those type of guys, we know there's no direct science with that. But if you're a person that watched the game back then and knew it like that, if they're saying this dude might be the Joe Thomas of that time frame, I'm like, man, Joe Thomas was a dog. So if he's in that type of class, then who am I to say nah because of, well, they didn't give him 10 All-Pro or 10 Pro Bowls. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know because I wasn't watching it back then either. And that's why when you brought him up, I was like, man, I don't know that dude like that. So I just defer to whoever, the committee thought was good enough for that because, once again, it is a person has to present. They got to speak on it. And that was the dilemma when we talk about Hines and Debo. Somebody has to present on their behalf. When we talk, I think it was
better presenters.
Yeah, remember it was Ed Bouchette that was presenting for. It did it for Troy, right?
Get me in there.
No, it was Lolly. Lolly did it for Troy. Excuse me on that.
Get me in the building.
Yeah, but it's like everybody has like their different ways of doing the presentation for their guys. And if you're a guy that's not gonna tell the story with energy or not tell the story in a way that can get people to really respect it, then that could be a little bit of an issue. Some players, you don't have to do a lot of talking. When Tom Brady retires, you're not going to have to do a lot of talking. Ben, you're not going to have to do a lot of talking. You know what I mean? Like, it's certain players that you don't have to do that, but then there are other players that you do got to talk. When Troy Polamalu retired, nobody had to talk on that. Let's be real. We both could have went in there and we would have got in. Hines, you got to make a case because it's a lot more nuance. It's a lot more gray area. It's a lot more debate, interpretation. What do you weigh more? Postseason, regular season, longevity, numbers. Okay, are these numbers weighed differently because of this quarterback? Are these numbers weighed differently because he played with this guy? What about that style? What about this? Team success, all of that. So if you're in there, you got to be able to sell it like that and do it at a level that is credible and they're going to respect it. And then just hope that they actually agree with the case that you made, because you could talk to you blue in the face and they just like, nah, I think this guy's better. And that's the other part.
They got to get me in the room.
Nah.
Because if Isaac Bruce is making it and Hines Ward ain't, like...
he makes the case is there. Like, trust me. When I look at them type of receivers, your Isaac Bruce, your Torrey Holtz, I'm like, yo, like, Hines to me is still in those conversations.
And then if you're talking about...
Steve Smith, that's going to be in that same conversation. Like, they're all in those same conversations to me.
Like Terrell Davis, the whole argument with him is the incredible peak and then the playoff runs.
Right.
So if you're talking that,
then
that
that's
can
the
be
argument for Hines.
Well, not even Hines. I would say the correlation, because I think Hines had a better longevity than Harrison.
He did.
But I would say Harrison had that 4 or 5 year peak.
This peak, yeah.
Dude, he's like one of the best defensive players in the league. And then that 08 Super Bowl run, incredible.
It was crazy. Yeah.
One of the greatest plays in NFL history, the pick six.
Yeah.
So, like, I just feel like these dudes should get. I don't know when it's gonna be. It's just. I guess it sucks waiting, and it, like I said, it's the annual just kicking the balls of like these dudes getting snubbed. In my opinion, they should get in.
I would agree, man.
I feel like they will before I die.
I hope so as well, man. I hope so as well.
I was thinking about this. Let me get your take on this theory. So Pouncey retired the year before Ben retired.
Mm-hmm.
Pouncey first ballot or no?
Me personally, I say yeah.
Would it be the worst thing if had them wait a year. They go in together. That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, for storylines and narratives, yeah, it'd be cool. But to me, I think Pouncey, I'm like, yeah, I think he's first ballot. I think that he was dominant from the time he got in this thing. You talk about the longevity. And even when it went bad, more so because of the injuries, he was still a dude that can get, out there and start 16, however many games he started that last season. Like, he still was capable of all of that. Like, yeah, I'm a Pouncey fan, though. Like, yeah, that was one of them centers for me. When I first seen that in the league, I'm like, we've never seen nothing like this where you pulling around and hitting and still powerful. You could pass, block. Like, yeah, that was just crazy to me.
I'm with you. I'm fine with him being first ballot. I think he would deserve it.
And you think of the history, too, of the centers here in Pittsburgh. I feel like he is in that same class. I feel like he's cut in that same cloth. You talk about meaningful. You talk about legacy, too, right? Came in, high expectations, lived up to it. Did not switch teams either. We talk about that for 7 and how that's significant. I think of Pouncey, I'm like, that's just as significant, man. I think the thing that hurts him is just the no Super Bowl, but at the same time, you can't control that part. It wasn't by anything that he did. I can assure you of that, man.
Yeah, it sucked that he got injured before the Super Bowl that he was about to go to.
Yep. Shout out to Doug Legursky, man. The homie got the start right there. But and even with Pouncey, you talk about on the field, but his off the field in terms of his impact, charity, nonprofit stuff doesn't get talked about a lot. That's just how he moves. But he's one of them dudes that does a ton in the community, man.
I could just see them snubbing the Steelers for some reason, but then
it happens a lot. Though.
What I'm saying is, it could be like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, it happens
like
a lot.
Silver lining where Pouncey and Ben getting in the same year, that'd be sick. I think they would both want that.
No, they would love that. They absolutely would love that, and all of us that knows how close their relationship is, we would love that for them.
Like, that'd be sick.
We would love that for them. I'm just selfish because for me, selfishly, Pouncey is a first ballot dude.
He deserves
the same way I look at Troy and I'm like, yo, Troy's a first ballot dude. I look at Seven, I say Seven's a first ballot dude. I look at Pouncey, I'm like, yo, that's a first ballot dude. Like, the same way Joe Thomas about to get his first ballot, Pouncey is in that same class to me. Like, and yeah, I don't even be caring to debate with people about it. You know what I mean? Like, I know we ain't debating on it, but it's just like, if somebody were to say, oh, I don't think he's like, I'm like, God, go over there and tell somebody else that, man. Because to me, he's like that.
To Castro, potentially, could he get in? Willie Anderson, they're putting him in the 15 finalists.
I mean, the thing with DeCastro, I just wonder, because he's going to have the accolades.
Yeah, they like I said with Jimbo Gilbert,
but
the
problem, the thing that's going to hang, because they're not going to be the same time, but I don't think they're going to put him in before they would do Marshall Yonda. They would put Yonda in before they did DeCastro. And Yonda retired after DeCastro.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the only thing I think of in terms of just like specific guards. Because off the top of my head,
you think it'll be that political like that?
Well, think about how we're talking about it right now. When you make your case for Hines, your case is because of they put this guy in. And when the case for DeCastro comes up, I don't think that they're just going to put him as a first ballot guy. But then when they start looking at other guys around that time,
I'm not talking first ballot.
Yeah, but when they start talking about other guys getting in, I do think it's one of those cases that if they view Yonda as a more decorated or better version and he's not in yet, then I don't think they would put him in before they would do that. No different than when we're talking DeMarcus Ware. James Harrison can't get in the Hall of Fame before DeMarcus Ware does. Regardless of how we feel about Debo, this dude's numbers are just too good. He was too elite. You got to have him in first. That's the
or even like a Jared Allen.
You see what I mean? Like, it's that type of dynamic. So when I think of Yonda, that's why I'm saying it like that. Like, because I don't even know if Yonda's a first ballot guy because it's difficult with some of that stuff. Now, I think he's going to have a case, and maybe I'm hating because he's a Baltimore dude. But, I think that's just, with that, it just seems like that's how they do it at times. So we'll see.
Super chats?
Yeah, let's tap in, man. Let's tap in.
I think we haven't hit one yet.
Yeah, we haven't hit one yet. Yeah, so we're at the top.
All right. I think I got them all.
Shout out to that. We at the top of the super chat. Hey, hit the like button one time. Subscribe if you have not done so. Holla. All right.
Matthew Gisner. Looks like he's got a take on the game here.
Mm-hmm.
Comes down to running the ball and stopping it. Yeah. Matthew Gisner, 4-1-0, behind enemy lines. Local fans losing faith in Lamar. You see, I think he's DNP again this week. He might not play the rest of the season.
I ain't tripping on it.
It says, having a good day. Hope you guys the same. Let's have a hell of a podcast. Pitt 24,
absolutely.
Browns 13.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm sure, man, with Lamar, it's a lot at play. Whether you're talking to health, whether you're talking to money, whether you like, it's a lot. It's a lot, man. And then you never forget how negotiations go, regardless of what you say publicly. You never forget how they go. And he's his own agent, so he's heard. Not like we laughing, but it's like you know off the record how I feel about certain people because of negotiations. You know what I mean? And think about how removed I am. You don't forget it. And that was with me having an agent, a top flight agent, one of the best in the business. You know what I mean? This dude, he having them conversations himself. I could only imagine. I'm just like, whew.
Is he? Is his mom his agent?
Well, no. He was representing himself. She's a part of his team, yes.
Okay.
But he represents himself. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Very different, man. Very different.
Because now you're seeing some conflicting reports pop out that, the injury was initially actually 4 to 6 weeks.
Versus when they first said it was day to day.
Yeah, they were like, is he going to play this first week against the Steelers?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you Lamar, I'm like, I could understand if he is taking that approach of, you know what, y'all wanted to play around on the front end of this thing, and this was what we were hoping when it happened. Well, now you kind of get a fake of it because it's not significant enough where he's going to need surgery or anything like to that extent, but it's just enough that now y'all get to see what life is like without me. And I think we would all agree that Ravens team with that offense minus Lamar Jackson is nowhere near the same as it is with Lamar Jackson. Very different than when we talk about the Eagles, right? When we was like the Eagles, it's like, well
I don't know.
No, you're right. Yeah, maybe it was just a one-off.
Maybe Gardner Minshew's second game there helped Jalen Hurts' MVP candidacy.
Yeah, but at least we saw something where it looked like it could be debatable. In Baltimore right now, they win, but you seen what the offense looked like. Yeah. Yeah,
they're the type of team that wins or can keep it a close game that just pisses you off because you're just like, this shouldn't be how it is.
They're winning in spite of.
This shouldn't be how it is.
Yo, this is gross. Yeah.
Because they're still good. Like, would anyone be surprised if they won a game or two in the playoffs?
I would not. Because
if they can get a turnover or two on defense,
that's how they play. They don't go for style points.
Control the ball on offense.
They're gonna turn you over, run this ball, and play that slow bleed game and wait for you to make a mistake, man.
I'm even talking with them without.
I'm with you. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
just a little upset game or something. Mm-hmm. Trucker James representing the 330, but listening from I-90 West.
Hey, you in
New
the
York
Buffalo
State
area? Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you're in Buffalo area, but I know we got the I-90. Deke said we got the I-90 up in Buffalo. I was just driving on the 90. You know that? That's why I got back in.
I've never even heard of it.
Wow, that's crazy. You was just on that road. You was just on that road.
I guess I drove it to go up to Buffalo last year for week one.
Singing this the
that
Mafia,
was just GPS. That was
you was bumping Benny the Butcher and all that Buffalo talk. I seen you over there, man. You can't help yourself. It's all good, man. I'm with you. I'm a supporter of you, so that's why I support, I
was playing that good old Wiz, Mac Miller, and Jimmy Walker.
Man, you was over there, Conway the Machine and Gunner. I mean, I said Gunner, West Side. Excuse me on that one. Yeah.
AJ Martinez, happy birthday to my son Tony. I'm very proud of you.
Let's go.
Love and respect from Dad.
Let's
God
go.
bless all in the chat, along with Moats and Deke. Thank you.
Salute. Hey, happy birthday, Tony, man. Absolutely. Shout out to Tony.
Fish Momentum. What is good, guys? Happy Thursday. Hashtag TG is wild.
Hey. TGB up here. Just, hey, he had to know the difference, man. I feel like he loosened up once he realized that this was not the Steelers only show. That he could just, say how he really felt. His whole dynamic changed. His whole demeanor changed. Whole tone changed.
You could tell when he gave his prediction.
He was like,
he basically gave every reason why he's worried about this game.
He's like, I guess I got to say Steelers win, though, right? Oh, I don't?
Then we got the truth. It was a drastic score change. Didn't we win like 31-20 in his initial score?
Yes.
And then it dropped down to like 21-20.
Yes, bro.
Fish Momentum says, keep me in prayer. Going through some stuff.
No, absolutely, man. We'll definitely have you in our thoughts and prayers, man. Absolutely.
Fish Momentum says, shout out to Trina, Steelers Girl 517, and the Barbarian.
Man, let's go for the culture, man. Y'all know we stayed locked in this thing in the podcast, man, in the chat. So, yeah, shout out to Official Momentum, shouting out Trina. You know we got to shout her out. Steelers Girl 517. Always tuning in from Lansing, Michigan. And then from there, you got the Barbarian. Always turned up for the culture. Salute.
Matthew Gisner, Lord of all, be with momentum. Walk next to him.
Talk about it. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Then Official Momentum says, shouts to AJ Martinez, Jacob M., Calmonier, Moats and D.
Let's go, man. He just shot out the whole gang. Gang.
Matthew
Respect.
Gisner, got a little back and forth here. Happy birthday, Tony. Have a great day, little man.
There it is, man. Tony getting love today, man. Shout out to Big Tony and Little Tony.
Yeah, and then official momentum. I guess he double super chatted. Says shouts to AJ Martinez, Jacob M, Kyle Monier, Moats, and Deke. Again,
We'll double up on the shout out with the double up with the shout out then. So shout out to your shout out of your shout out. Shout out to you too, Deke.
thank you. And he says Ambition live at Rivers Casino.
There it is.
February 10th, 2023. Pull up.
Gotta pull up, bro.
We'll see. Official momentum.
Well, let's see. Last year, your promise was you were gonna at least hear one song,
I did.
and you did do that.
I did. Listen to Salute.
Can we get a promise that you're gonna go to a show?
No promises.
No promises. Okay,
I got
okay,
no
okay.
promises for you right now.
Okay.
That could change. We're
Yeah.
very early in the year.
We're only 5 days into this thing, man. You got a lot of time.
You ask me in May, I'll be
Yeah.
like, maybe next month I'll head down to
Get
Rivers.
some claws in them, man. You never know.
Yeah. Right now I'm football season. I'm locked in. You know what I mean? I'm just like Robert Spillane.
I'm just right here.
Focused week in and week out.
Don't ask me about last week. Don't ask me about next week. I'm right now. There it is.
I'm not like that at all. I still bring up the sabotage that was Ben's last season. Official momentum. Steelers win 28-14. Hashtag TG out of pocket.
Ooh.
Hashtag Deke-tegrity. And actually, too, them bringing up TG, I mean, you hear the mentality right now. Not only the playoff thing,
Yeah.
but Thomas. They're motivated. There's no trap game.
I like
There's no
it.
trap
That
game.
boy said, yo, we can't be a part of that history.
There's no trap game.
I said, yo, we can't be. When he said, I say, yo, say no more. That's what I needed to hear, bro. You do not want to be on that history. They're never going to forget that. You don't want to be that one.
You might need to send that audio.
You do not want to be that
TG,
one, bro.
See if he changes his pick at all. Matthew Gisner, pumped for the Spillane train.
Let's go. And hope you enjoy the Spillane train, man.
Okay, and then we got Matthew Gisner. Please ask Spillane, what does he need to improve to be starting? Because I love his run D. Well, technically, I guess the last 2 games he was in 100% of the time, right? 2 or 3 games. Understand the speed, but what can he improve with his game? Maybe you could answer that.
I think just it's all about what they're looking for. Because starter, like, do you classify Devin Bush as a starter right now, even though Spillane technically outplays him in terms of, like, snaps? You see what I mean? So,
Right.
because even with Miles, like, none of those dudes have, like, started in the traditional sense. I think Miles probably is the closest to, like, a true, like, starter in that sense of, like, never comes off the field, but even he comes off the field. Every third down, he comes off, Spillane stays on. So, I don't personally, like, the way I think of it is like this. If he was in another place and they wanted to make him a full-time starter, the hiccup would be if you want him in man-to-man coverage. He can survive, but if that's what he has to major in, he's going to get exposed. So it would be about the fit. If you're 4-3, are you a Sam, you a Will, how you playing that in that defense, you know? In the 3-4, obviously, we know the strengths and weaknesses there. And when we watch him in our defense, when does he excel? When he's in zone coverage, when he has eyes on the quarterback, when he can just read and react. When does he struggle? When he's asked to, cover a guy one-on-one for an elongated period of time. That's, where he's going to struggle at. So I personally look at him as, like he's kind of said, like he says he views himself as a starter. I view him in that same boat because of, like, just the snaps that they play him here as. So I would just say, if you were trying to figure out what would make him the guy that you don't take off the field at all, it would just be improving upon the man-to-man defense. Now, with that, he's already kind of at that level of what he's supposed to be doing to stay afloat, which is read your keys, eyes always right, position always right, leverage always right. You watch him in man-to-man coverage, he's going to have all those things done, and that's why they're able to keep him out there on those critical third downs. But the issue is if something goes wrong, if the protection, holds up and that blitz doesn't get there, and now instead of it coming out on 3 seconds on time, it's 5 seconds, it's 6 seconds. That's the issue for him, and that would probably be the difference of when I think of like a Roquan Smith or Patrick Queen. You don't care if that rush doesn't get there. It doesn't kill you if those guys are having to stick with a running back or a tight end for a little bit longer. Because when that running back or that tight end goes to scramble drill and he's going to break off of his route and start to improvise, those guys are just as athletic, have great foot speed, instincts, and probably in most cases are just as, or maybe even a little bit more athletic. Whereas for Spillane, that's where he's going to struggle. And we saw that, like I said, in the Carolina Panthers game, just with that simple play with Chuba Hubbard. All the other plays, he's in man-to-man coverage. You don't see anything about it. No one talks about it. Whether he was covering a tight end, nobody talked about it. The one play, though, that we brought up and everybody highlighted and was like, I told you he can't cover anybody. And it's like, bro, he's been playing the whole game. This is the play you're talking about. What happened? The rush didn't get there. Chuba had time to run his regular route, sit down, and then do what? Whip away and work off of it. And then it became a foot race. Then it became a space game. That's where he struggles at. And that's, to me, the biggest difference between making a guy a full-time starter where you don't take him off the field versus starter/starter snaps, but rotation, because all of those guys kind of have a little bit of a hole. We talked Devin. He has the athletic stuff that we just talked about Spillane not having, and we talked about this numerous times, but his hole is where? Run game. So that's why his snaps have been altered at times. Mark Robinson has the potential to do both, but you got to make sure that he gets up to speed in terms of just knowing the nuance of this level defense and what these offenses will start to do to attack him and do different things, just put him in compromising positions. So all of those guys are kind of going through it. And then with Miles Jack, it's just the health. You know, you trying to keep him as healthy as you can. So now you're to that point. So his snaps are definitely not, I don't anticipate going back to being, you know, every 100% thing, because he's been dealing with it growing. That's soft tissue. That's the same stuff that we've seen guys deal with before. It's no different than a hamstring. Once you irritate it or pull it, it's going to nag you for the rest of the year. Anytime you start getting tired and you want to push it a little bit more, if it grabs, that's what you're dealing with. You know what I mean? So for him, that's just something that regardless of how, you know, this weekend works out in terms of postseason or not, he's going to be dealing with this. So once again, all of those guys have something holding them back per se, but that's the long answer on Spillane in terms of what he would need to improve upon to be like a quote unquote true traditional full-time starter. But yeah.
Fish Momentum.
Hopefully that answered it for you.
I think it did. Fish Momentum says footballing with Ben / Moats and Deke crossover.
Hey, all right. Now, do they do live? Are they live when he goes?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
I think they do it after the fact.
Okay.
Damon Brown, he says, I swear I'm in tears. The Bills are going to let out a lot of emotion on that field this Sunday. They will crush the Patriots in his honor. God is good. Shout out to Trina and AJ Martinez.
Let's go. Now, wait a minute now. When did Demar send this? Oh, he was premature. It's 324. Okay. I was like, there's no way we got a Demar super chat post interview and he's not shouting you out. You know. I was about to say, wait a minute.
You think?
It's still early. It's 324. That was at 324. We got to see if he posted anything post interview wise. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go, UW. Did you guys listen / see that clip from Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show? It says they made a valued point of this injury, where it should be a catalyst for contracts being fully guaranteed. Part of the reason the 2010 Steelers voted no on the CBA.
Yeah, that was a big reason why they voted no on the CBA. That's been one of the big sticking points the previous negotiations. And I did see it, man. And
wait, the Steelers wanted fully guaranteed.
Yeah, they were
fully guaranteed contracts for the players.
The Steelers were the only team that
really?
The Steelers were the only team to vote no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the only team to vote no.
You gotta respect that.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, it was a little awkward when I came here in 14 because they was pissed off because it was like, yeah, man, we know that y'all was a part of one of them teams that voted against this. Like, yeah. So I'm like, I get it, you know. But at the same time, I'm like, y'all hollering about the contracts, and at that time, what the owners were willing to give up, it's like, bro, we're not gonna win this fight at that time.
They wanted too much for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like,
Do you remember the specifics or?
Not off the top of my head, and I don't want to like just throw something out there like that. But that was one of the things, like, because sticking points for negotiations have been multiple things, whether it's been for the alumni players, whether it's been for health insurance, because that's the other dynamic. We holler about guaranteed contracts, but the other thing that people are upset about is just the health insurance thing. It's 5 years. Then after that, they got different packages for you in terms of if you play long enough that will help compensate you to pay for it. But yeah, if you're not a guy that played long enough, man, you don't have a chance with any of that type of stuff. But yet, this is the only sport where it's 100% injury rate. You play this game, you're 100% guaranteed to get hurt. It's just a question of how significant the injury is going to be. But that's the reality of it. So, that's that part where it's very touch and go every time it's a negotiation, because if you want something as big as guaranteed contracts, you're going to have to give up something just as big to ownership. Initially, it was revenue sharing, TV contracts. Early on, we had no TV money. So when the lockout happened back then, they had a war chest of $500 million in just TV contracts, regardless if we played a game or not. So you hollering about, man, we're going to take this stance of guaranteed contracts. And they like, bro, we getting paid regardless. Y'all don't get paid if y'all don't play. They get paid just already because of the TV deal. So that was some of the stuff that you're dealing with. So once again, it's like when the new negotiations come up, was it? Because last one's what, 2 years ago? So I think we got, because it was like it was like right around that COVID time when it happened.
Yeah, it was a little bit before, maybe 2018, 2019.
Yeah, so whenever that final like 10 years come up, that's going to pop up again. But that's always one of the bigger sticking points. Because for them, they look at the TV deals as big as how we look at potentially getting guaranteed contracts. So for us to get the sharing of those TV deals, that was a major win. For them, they're like, all right, well, we're going to cut down on some of these insurances. We're going to cut down on some of these benefits. We're going to cut down on certain things there. And that's the give and take. But when it's a union, when you got all of this money and all this at stake, it's like, yeah, somebody, you got to try to be in that middle. We need each other. So it's like, we can't do it without them. They can't do it without us. But that's the big issue with it, And there's nothing in contract. There's nothing in a contract right now that says a contract can't be guaranteed. That's why when Kirk Cousins got his guaranteed, it was dope because he actually pushed forward and did it. Yeah, you see what I mean? Guaranteed. So it's nothing against, it's nothing that says they can't be guaranteed. It's just that's how it's been operated. So when you're talking in negotiations and they have how many years now of non-guaranteed contracts, unless you're an outlier like the Deshaun Watson situation, unless you're an outlier like the Kirk Cousins situation, they not hearing any of that. They're like, bro, this is how we do it, and we have this thing called salary cap. And that's how they, push their whole thing, and that's how they keep that thing alive, so to speak. But, like I said, it's, when you're doing the negotiations, like, what you willing to give up?
I'm guessing, too, the non-guaranteed contracts help the general managers, the front office, try to finagle some of these deals to fit into the salary
Because
cap.
Think about this. If I guarantee you $20 million.
Is that just going to straight up hit
and
the
you
cap
suck.
that way?
I guarantee you $20 million and you suck, and after 3 games, I realize, this is not happening. But now I can't even get you off the books in 2 years like we normally could, right? Sign the bonus, restructure, get them up out of here. Nah, that 20 is going to count hard because I gave you 20, or that 20 is guaranteed, so there's no way I can get up out that thing. But now we think of it in the sense of it helps you as a player, but it also hurts me as a player. Why? Because if we still got this salary cap, you're accounting for 20 and you're not playing, and I'm the guy they want and I want to get paid, but you can't pay me 20. Why? Because you're getting 20. Yeah. Hey, I can't even give you 10 because you're still accounting for 20. Hey, Moats, can you take 5? That becomes that conversation. Now it's like, nah, man, I'd much rather go somewhere else where you can get that. So that's some of the dynamics also that comes into play when you talk the guaranteed contracts with the salary cap. Once again, salary cap's been here for so long, trying to get them to get rid of the salary cap, they're not going to do it. As players, we hate it because we know that's just their way to manage and keep all of our money at a decent level. Because what? Hey, commonality. Hey, man.
Fairness.
The 53 guy, hey, the one guy, hey. So if you're going to get this much, whoa, I don't care how much his owner makes. We got to have that balance here. But then as a player,
I think it does help the league maintain a fairness.
It does,
as opposed to MLB,
right? And that's different.
Maybe you can just bump the salary cap up across the league.
MLB, NBA, right? NBA luxury tax, right? You'll just pay it extra. Yeah. Man, I'm gonna bring these guys in, but you don't get as much parity. It's not as level across. Whereas we're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, who, if this was an NBA team, right, in terms of records, you wouldn't be looking at us and thinking that we really could beat a team or really could do something. But in football, you can, because the rosters are so close talent-wise. But that's because of salary cap part. So it's like, I get the pros and cons of all of it, and it does make sense in certain elements. But that's just one of them things where when it's negotiations, you're going to have to always get something good for you and something not so good for you. Sometimes we would focus on, this group that you wanted to try to get a win for. Then you say in 10 years, we're going to try to focus on this group to get a win for. But that's just how it goes, man.
Coward brought up like a day or two ago.
Yeah.
That, with this type of scenario, or just even how the league has been shifting over these last 5 or 10 years, talking about player health and safety, that maybe this could be a wake-up call to even bump the games back to 16, and could it be 6 teams in the playoffs? I hope that, because I thought that was perfect. The 16 games and the 6 teams in the playoffs.
You remember how I spoke on it when we talked about the expansion.
I just don't think it's possible.
Yeah.
I think you already went this far.
Because it was the money.
They're not going to take it back.
But remember when we talked about that, and we said they're trying to make people believe that taking one preseason game away is not any different than adding one regular season at the end of the year. And we're like, bro, that is not how that works. Those two things aren't equal. You can't say player health and safety, and that's the move that you're making. But the argument in the large majority was what? More football. Extra regular season game. Regular season games, everybody's going to watch regular season versus preseason. We're not talking about eyes. We're talking about health and safety, though. It's way greater risk for every player that goes out there in a regular season game than it is in the preseason. But granted, you still take risks in the preseason. But it's just different in terms of the intensity, in terms of how much you're playing and things like that. But yeah, you know how that is. The NFL wants more money, and that was what they were going to do. And the agreement was what? All right, if you're going to add on a game and, expand the postseason where we're going to need more benefits, we're going to need you to – they altered the marijuana rule. Remember that? Yeah. Because they were spending so many guys, and it was like, hey, if you're going to do this, then we need to be able to get more of that, And that was the give and take there. We can ask, is that fair? Are those two things equal? For the players at this stage in their lives, they felt really good about that. For a guy like Marquise Pouncey, you remember how pissed off he was, right? When he was speaking on, he's like, "No, this is dumb. Like y'all dumb." Yeah, remember that? Yeah,
he said, I ain't agreeing.
Because everybody was thinking short term. Oh man, I want to smoke weed. Let me just do that. I don't care about that again. We like, bro, you could blow a tree whenever you retire. Trust me.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. But when you're 20, 21, 22, what are you thinking? You're not thinking that far. You're like, bro, I'm feeling great. I could ball. Yo, I want to blow a little bit more. Let's do this. So yeah. But that's the thing, and the NFL understands that. Yeah.
And you're talking just from a health and safety standpoint, right, in terms of the games and the scheduling. I'm talking too from a fan viewership standpoint. Now this is me personally.
Because you oversaturated.
I felt the scarcity was perfect. It was like the beautiful balance. It was the thing that all the other leagues didn't have.
Yes.
16-6. Like the 6 that got in felt like it really mattered. Now, I'm still going to watch if you add the 17th game. Obviously, if you add the 17th, it's going to help us potentially again this year. I don't care from that standpoint. Like if it helps us, fine. I'm still going to watch. But I felt just from a bird's eye view, the 16-6, like they had it perfect. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, you're getting more money and all this other stuff.
That's their thing, man. They want that money, man.
But combined with the health and safety with the players, as you mentioned, with that scarcity, the just that beautiful element of it really felt like every game mattered. And it still does. It's only one extra game, but I'm worried about the slippery slope aspect of it.
That's how it all starts.
I don't really want that either.
Because what was it initially?
17's fine.
So think about it. We settled on
18,
we settled on 17 this year, but not this CBA that just happened, but the one prior to that, they wanted 18 games.
Yeah, they were already 18. Talking about it.
So their whole thought process, throw out 18, we'll settle on 17. Next time we're going to throw out 19, we'll settle on 18. You see what I'm saying? That's their approach. But if you're not peeping it or hip to it, and at the same time, you also have to be 21, 22, 23, because that's the age group that the majority of the NFL is. Average career span, 2.5 years. So you don't have a ton of 30s. You don't have a ton of 28, 29-year-olds that think like this. Even me at 34, I didn't think like this at 27, 28. I was lucky to have a Will Allen. I was lucky to have a James Harrison, lucky to have a Ben Roethlisberger. Those type of dudes that were just older, more mature, had been through this. But that's not a guarantee, man. You go to some of these other teams. I remember being the vet, and I was a 4th-year guy. I'm like, bro, y'all looking at me for answers. I'm trying to figure it out myself. So that's also, when you're talking about trying to get that type of change, or for the players to actually understand that type of stuff, just most of their minds aren't thinking that. At 21, 22, man, you know what you're tking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fisher Momentum prayers to the Bills and the Bengals teams, and also T. Higgins.
No, facts, man, because that's a lot across the board, man.
Fish Momentum, happy B-Day to Sterling Holloway, the OG Winnie the Pooh.
Bro, shout out to Official Momentum, bro. You stay with a fact like that. How would you? Yo, the OG. I never knew the OG Winnie the Pooh's name. I always call him just Winnie the Pooh. Shout out to you, though, man. And shout out to Sterling Holloway. Happy birthday. Let's go.
Andre Azell, wouldn't it be reasonable to say if we make the playoffs, we will be the 7th seed nobody wants to play against?
No, I think that's very accurate. You look at how hot we've been post-bye week, and I think it's more so the style that we play. It's not a flashy style. It's not a style that is really that makes you feel confident when you're going in. It's like when Deke was talking about Baltimore. You don't see a lot of teams line up to play Baltimore because why? They're going to play defense. They're going to run the ball, and it's going to be slow, drag it out, wait for you to make a mistake. But at the same time, they can make a play as well. That's how we've been playing. That's how we've been executing, and we just been out-executing, out-physicaling teams. And that's not a brand of ball that a lot of teams want to face against because it makes you have to operate with almost perfection. And when you're talking about the teams that are talented enough and that operate with enough consistency to not fear that, it's a small few of those teams in the league right now. Like we talked about, the most talented teams are still having some type of flaws. Now, we know in terms of Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati, they are a little bit more consistent than others, but it's not like I don't see a lot of teams that are lining up and looking at us like, oh, yeah, we feel great about this matchup. Like, they might feel confident in the sense that they feel favored, but you're not walking in that thing like, oh, man, this is the easy one right here. We got this one. Like, nah, because and this is just me as a player. If I'm looking at this Steelers team, if we were preparing to play them, that would be the mindset. Like,
we got a lot of confidence
like,
right
bro,
now.
they hot right now, and they just playing that weird ball. I can't remember the full context in 14 of that Ravens team that we ended up facing after we won the division. Remember, we beat Cincinnati that Sunday night, and then we ended up playing Baltimore that Saturday in the wild card because we had won the division, so we ended up hosting.
Bell got hurt.
Yeah, but we remember looking at it, and it was kind of like, man, we had whooped that Ravens team the second time we played them, right? That was when they came here, Monday Night Football, and we got off on them. But earlier, the first time we played them, they had beat us. It was like that nasty, just close Thursday night type of vibe. But they were that type of team where it was like, yeah, they're going to run it a little bit. They're going to play defense. And they trying to get a turnover, but it's like that slow, just nasty, just that type of game. And they ended up winning that type of game with that, even though we felt more talented. And granted, the L. Bell situation was a big factor in that as well. But we knew that was going to be just a tough team because of the matchup. And that's kind of how I look at this Steelers team right now. It's just like, you can beat this Steelers team, yeah, but they're just a tough team to deal with if they're playing the way that they're able to play.
Haven't been turning the ball over. That's a big part of it too.
And that's the other part. If we turn it over, then yeah, we'll get whooped, no question. But if we're not turning it over, that's what makes us so difficult right now because we are talented, but everything else is coming more and more and more as we keep getting in stadium. But the one constant, though, has been the no turnovers. And that has to continue as well. Absolutely.
What is it? One turnover in the last, 6 games?
Yeah.
It was just that one pick with the Raiders that Pickett threw. And even if you want to go back further, the Eagles game before the bye, Pickett just had that garbage time.
Right in the red zone.
You could tell it was starting to build a little bit going in to that bye. And then it really started going off where we're firing on all cylinders. Offense ain't turning the ball over. We're moving the ball.
Yeah.
Defense is stopping the run pretty decent. Secondary, shaky at times, but still getting through. The other point to why I think us versus the other teams going for that 7th seed, why we would be the one that no one wants to play, is just the fact the other teams are the Patriots and the Dolphins. The Patriots' offense is anemic right now. Their defense is good. You got to give them credit there. But the Dolphins have been falling apart like a cheap suit as well.
You're right.
We're doing the exact opposite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those two teams kind of got hot midway and earlier in the season.
They peaked too soon.
Yeah, they peaked. But my thing, too, even just watching some of those Dolphins games, it's like, this ain't real. It just ain't real. Yeah. But they're finding ways to win. We gave them our game. I mean, same thing with the Patriots. Like, these are really flawed teams where I just felt like, you're right, like peaked or just they're capped. I felt like we had a potential. We just weren't reaching early on in the season.
And now
we finally started to hit it.
Yep.
It just was ugly at times, and that's why some of the fakes out there were calling for tanking and all this other stuff. But they don't know football. Count on people like me and you to let them know. Like,
Well, that's the beauty.
We're getting there. We're getting there, and we did.
But that's why we don't call everybody a diehard fan. We got fans, and then we got diehard fans. A fan will show up when it's good, and when it's not so good, they're going to waver. The diehards, we know we're going to power through this thing. We're going to stick with it. So, yeah.
Damon Brown. Hope T. Higgins is doing okay. I hope it's fake news, but I've heard he's receiving death threats. I'm sure at some point he may have gotten down on himself at some point. Praying for him as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we can do is control what we can control, right? We know on social media, not everybody operates the same. Not everybody thinks the same. Not everybody's intentions are the same. So, honestly, if, that is accurate, it would not surprise me. That's unfortunate, but it would not surprise me. But at least we do know, T is going to have guys around him and loving on him.
Even
Hamlin's
family, they already said, like, don't blame T. Higgins for this.
Absolutely. And, absolutely. Like, there's zero to put on him in any capacity, man. Nah, he's just playing the game, baby. Absolutely. But the dudes in that locker room, and they're going to love on him. They're going to make sure he's good. Yeah.
Let's go, UW. After this year, LA should never be able to host a college football championship game ever again. They aren't allowing anyone to attend a tailgate. Yeah, that's kind of whack.
I forgot, where is it at?
I don't know all the details. SoFi.
But you could tailgate in SoFi.
I guess they said no.
Oh.
For the college football playoff game. That's whack.
Or is it the lots?
That's stupid.
No, because I think of, like, remember how even when we tailgated, like, how we had to go to, like, that far away lot. I wonder if that's what they're referring to, though.
That's still part of, because we could
still walk there.
Amount away.
But we could still, like,
was that still part of SoFi and the stadium and the area around it? It was a ways away.
It was, but we definitely walked it though. Think about it. Like, it wasn't a crazy walk. I'm like, how far would that walk be from? Is that from PNC?
Was that a SoFi parking lot? I guess that's my main question.
Because I feel like it was, but I'm like, that was no different than going from PNC to Acrisure. Just walking that walk. That's what it felt like. But we definitely was tailgating out there, bro, and we weren't the only ones either. Remember that?
No, but I think SoFi's changing the rules for the college football playoff. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The college football championship? You can't tailgate?
Yeah, that's different.
People
man.
coming in from TCU and Georgia? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's different. I'd have to look into that.
I don't know all the details, but I did see that headline. That's stupid. Colton Troy Fu. Aloha, fellas. Moats, my last trip to the Berg, I bought a bunch of game-used gloves and visors.
Let's go.
From the pro shop. I was skeptical, but the workers said they grab it from your guys' locker. Is that true?
No, it is. Absolutely. Yeah, that was why.
You don't own it.
No. So the thing it's a Pittsburgh thing, bro. I bumped heads a couple of times with this, and then I lost some money a couple of times with this, and I was fine with it. But the Steelers, they were one of, like, the first ones to kind of get one of those, like, exclusive, like, memorabilia deals. So because of how popular the team was, they had memorabilia of everything, whether it's visors, chin straps, socks, mouthpiece.
How long ago was this deal made?
Definitely when I got here in 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know for a fact.
It's more of a recent thing, not something like they agreed in the 70s.
Yeah, I don't know in the 70s, but at least in 14. For a fact in 14, because that was, like, the big dilemma of, like, whoa, I'm coming from there where I take what I want. Post game is mine. Like, if I put it on, it's mine. Like, top to bottom, this is what we do. Charge me whatever you need to charge me, that's what we do. Pittsburgh, it was like, nah, you don't even get the option. Like, you don't own this stuff. Yeah. You
couldn't even pay for it?
Well, that was the conversation initially, yes. Like I said, it I got my stuff. So that's, you know what I mean? Everything is good. But, yeah, that's the thing. And they will tax you like, oh, hey, we're going to sell you a jersey for $300. But you take your jersey with that barcode that we know is yours, and we got the little scanning machine going into the locker room. So as soon as you leave out there, we know, oh, yeah. We're going to charge you $1,500. Even though that's just your jersey, $1,500 for the top. Oh, you took pants, $1,500 for that. Oh, you took the sock. I'm wait for $1,500 for that. Oh, you took
not the socks for $1,500. Not the socks.
The NFL will find you $5,000 for having socks that don't match, bro. Stop it. Yes. Okay. Oh, you took your little nameplate that slide up the top to say 55 more. Oh, you took that. Oh, I'm gonna hit you.
Wait, did you take your socks?
Bro.
Wait, why'd you take your socks?
Bro, don't play with me, man.
Wait. Hold on. Why did you?
If I've worn it, it's mine.
Okay.
Also, I have children. You know how cool it is when my kids put my outfits on, bro?
Oh, you want the full uniform effect.
Like,
is that what you're saying?
It's been both ways because it started in Buffalo. KK, when she was first in first grade, bro, it was like a big deal. I was her dad's in the NFL. I read to them school, right? Came fully decked out. Head to toe Bills game day fit. Never issue. But it's just a dope move, dope memory. Like the pictures of it, we'll never forget it. Same thing in Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? And even now, joking with KK I think it was a couple months ago, I had her like in the full color rush get up, right? Head to toe, socks, swag, all that, right? It's just dope. It's one of those things. It's like, yo, if your dad was in like the Marines or if he was in the Army, he was a sergeant, you put his suit on, you like, yo, I got the fatigues, or like, it just hit different. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm like, bro, I bleed in this uniform. If I'm willing to risk my life in this uniform, let's not forget that part. You ain't telling me I'm not taking my uniform. Like, that's where we at. But we were able, and that's the other beauty of, you also have to understand like where you are in the organization. I was a little bit more fortunate because after my first year, I had resigned. I had success here. I played for 4 years here. So it got to the point where I was able to have the correct conversations with the correct people that could help me. And then everything was able to get done the right way. So that way we could all be happy about it. And we still show up on game days and it's all love. You see, we shake everybody's hand and hug everybody and there's no ill will. That's why, but I was fortunate. Not everybody was like that.
I was going to say, I got to assume.
Yeah, it's not everybody like that.
Way, right?
It's not a lot of people like that. It's plenty of other people that are even more hot. Now, my deal was dope. What I was able to get done was dope. Just know, though, my deal was inspired by somebody else. I told you I look up to this man. I watched him when I was in Buffalo. He was playing here. Then I came here and we became teammates, and it just was match made in heaven. 4 years, that's my guy. But he showed me the way, Not everybody walk up on that man like that. He passed the eyeball test, Deke. Just know that.
Okay? Am I able to take guesses?
Go for it, man. You get 3.
Harrison.
There you go.
My next guess was Ben. Harrison, Ben, and then I don't know who I would have said after that. Because were you saying I was gonna say Peasy maybe Peasy could have
Peasy
swayed you in the right direction.
But the thing with Peasy is D-Boy and Peasy are both going to get you answers, but their approach is going to be it's similar but different. Peasy is not always going to have like I have patience for you. It's like, all right, I said what I said. You know what I risk. You don't give it to me. This is where we at now. Okay. Like, we aggressive. I'm loud. You know how P is. You know what I'm saying? Like, he turned up, and that's what we love Peasy. Debo, he's a little bit different. He has a little bit more patience, but he's also one of them like super slick, like real, like kind of janky businessman. Love him. That's my dude. But he got that in him. You know what I mean? So he the type that, okay, you might say no initially, but then he's going to find some way to have you like just, I'm stuck. I can't say yes because if I do this, then this and this and this happens. He's on that type of vibe. So it's like all right, this is the first option. If you don't do that, then I'm going to not do this and this and this. Check. Okay. Now, if you still decide after I do this that you're not, well, now I'm going to go this approach. And that's when Debo would take the Peasy approach. That's why I say they similar but different. Debo's got a little more patience. So I just tried to find my commonality in between both of them, and eventually everything worked out. Yeah.
Moral of the story, yes, the equipment you are getting is legit.
It is super duper legit. Yes. Super duper legit, man. Yeah, it's plenty of kids out there right now that looking up at their daddies like, Dad, can I see your visor? And they're like, nah, son, I ain't got that. Hey, Dad, can I get your Hey, Dad, can I see your helmet, the game helmet that you wore out there that you was hitting people with the marks on it? Nah, son, I ain't got that. Hey, Dad, you know them cleats that you wore when you scored that can I see them? I ain't got that. Dad, what about them gloves you got? You got any of them towels? Yeah, there's a lot of them people out there, bro. All right. Hey.
You got to buy it on eBay.
Straight up. Hey.
Son, look on eBay.
No. You got to go to Fanatics. Trust me, I know. Had that happen too. You know what I mean? It was like, yo.
Authentic on there.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. I'm going to have to go pay for my thing back with the credit that y'all going to get. And this the other. I'm on my soapbox right now. Forgive me for going off right now. But this the other janky part too. They sell your stuff and then they give you a discount code to buy your stuff back. I'm like, bro, I don't want a discount code to the spot that y'all selling all my stuff. I want my stuff.
That's nice of them, though.
No, it's not. When y'all check, I'm like, bro. Yes, bro. As you can see, it's a touchy subject. Coach Choifu, you ain't know what you was starting by bringing this up, man. Yeah, you did trigger some stuff over here, all right? Yeah, I'm gonna just take a sip. We just gonna move forward before I get a trouble. Cause shit, it big me hot.
Jerry Ramos, Deke and Moats, it's a blessed day. God is good. Demar is doing well. Brings me tears of joy. Shout out to the chat. Here we go, Steelers. Playoff bound.
Nah, let's go. Absolutely, man.
I definitely got to look for an update on that whole 8th team stuff before we log off here. Dondre Azell, Big Ben passed the torch on his last episode and said Kenny did everything he would have in the last 2 games and said he underestimated him.
Oh, okay.
I did see that comment.
All right.
Yeah, did you see that? You see him talking about Kenny?
I have not. I've been unplugged though, bro. You know the whole since that situation on Monday night, man. When it's stuff like that's happening, and I'm like feeling like too close to it, I don't get on social media. I get my information like, I got my people and stuff like that, but I don't like to see a lot of this stuff because I'll be one of them people. I don't want to react and say stuff. So I have not seen.
He basically just said, whenever Kenny got in, felt like he was good. He's a rookie. Felt like he could be good, like a really good quarterback, really solid. Then he said after these couple games, it was just like, I think I underestimated him, actually. I feel like the sky's the limit. I think he throws the ball better than I thought. So I'm excited to see what happens these next, 2 or 3 years because these will be, catalysts for his career in total. What type of improvements he makes going forward. Pretty good. Let's go, UW.
Shout out to 7, man. I like that. There it is.
Yeah. How is Revis in – hold on. What's he say? How was Revis over Ward? He wasn't great of a receiver. He has fewer career touchdowns than Ted Ginn Jr. and Jarvis Landry. What? Revis? Who's he talking about?
I don't know. I'm kind of confused.
He might be talking about Hester. How is Hester in over Ward?
That has to be it. Yeah, that has to be what he's talking about. That would make sense why you brought up Ted Ginn and Jarvis then. I was so confused, bro. Yeah.
No, I do think Hester is still a Hall of Famer, but I think Hines should have gotten in over Hester, at least in the finalist. Yeah,
and let's go UW. I just think that you and Deke kind of focus more so on him as a wide receiver, whereas you got
I don't. Well, I view him as a specialist.
Well, because at least the reason I said the receiver because you got brought up to Ted Ginn as well, and Ted Ginn with his numbers, he
was more of a receiver.
Yeah,
I get it.
He was more of a receiver. Yeah, and that's why when I saw Ted Ginn up here as well and Jarvis Landry, I'm like, you're looking at him as a receiver versus as a return man. We're talking about him as a return man specifically.
I think my thing with also, because I am thinking of him more as a return man, I still think he should be in due to that. The best of all time in that category. He had some spurts. He was hot early on, but then it wasn't the full way through where he was doing that year in and year out.
Yeah, because people started to fear him.
It's
and when
tough.
It kicked to him,
it's tough. Yeah. I get it. But I'm just saying, combine that with the receiving or just in totality. I just feel like someone like Hines Ward should get in over him. I still think Devin Hester's a Hall of Famer.
To me, I look at it like this, right? We say Revis Island, right? And you don't penalize Revis for not getting thrown at. You don't penalize Revis if his interception numbers were low because it's Revis Island, right? He just shut down one side of the field. You would not look over there. Teams would not kick towards him before the kickoff rules changed. Because think about how now it's like, you're not even really getting returns like that. That was not the case when he was playing. Kickoff returns were very much real. Dudes was getting crushed on them. In fact, that's why they ended up getting rid of some of this stuff. But that was a thing, and it got to the point where people were like, "Bro, we would much rather just say F that. We're not putting the ball near this guy." I think that's the same type of impact when we're talking about a Darrelle Revis, and it's like, they don't look at his side, so we can't penalize that. I don't penalize that, at least. But like I said, that's when we talking Hall of Fame. That's what it's all about. We all nitpicking, baby. Yeah, it's fun though.
Like I said, I still think you should get in. I'll just take Hines Ward over him. No. Let's go UW. How is?
That's what we just did. Yeah, that's one. Yep.
I thought I clicked it again. Maybe I did. Maybe I screenshotted it twice. Richard Hunt. Oh, Ben Pouncey, Hines, and Debo in the same year. Team tag.
Bro, that would be fire. That would be like the year we had who was it? It was Faneca, Troy, Donnie, Cower. Remember when they did the back-to-back classes? That centennial year. It was somebody else too. Oh yeah. Bill Nuss. We had 5. Yeah, because it was the 2 classes. It was like the one and the centennial
because of COVID. Yep. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be.
I think the Ben Pouncey one's the most realistic, though.
And it makes the most sense if you the NFL. But man, don't hate on my dog like that, man. Make my dog first ballot, man, and then
There's
just
hate.
Yeah, put him first ballot and just delay his like ceremony.
Oh wait, Demar Brown.
Ooh, or would it be kind of cool if Pouncey gets in first, but then Pouncey is the one to kind of like let Ben know that he's gonna get in, because Pouncey be the year ahead, and isn't the
Pouncey could introduce him with the
yeah,
gold jacket on.
and the dude was it Baker, right? That's his name.
I think so.
Yeah. He's I think he was retiring, right? He's retiring from that position.
Is he?
I thought he was.
Who's next up?
I don't know. That's why I just figured, it'd be cool to have Pouncey do it.
Oh, actually go to knock on his door.
Yeah, like
I thought you meant introduce him at the ceremony.
No. Like go knock on Ben's door like a one off. Like, hey,
That would be cool.
I think it'd be dope. Yeah. Hey, brother. Hey, man. It's been a little while. Good to see you again. You like my jacket? Hey, this one's for you though. See it, bro. Be dope just like that. Boom.
You got the script written up.
Dilly dilly. You see it? This one's for you. Like this bud's for you. Dilly dilly. Or is that not bud? No, dilly dilly's bud. I'm not sure. Right? Yeah, see, boom. Let's go. I ain't even mean to do it. Like it just stumbled in there. Let's go, man.
Demar Brown does have his interview review for me here. Deke, you did.
Oh, what time was it? 4:40. Oh, yeah. So let's see what he says.
Deke, you did great on the interview. Thank you. I just wish you would have asked him if he heard anything from the NFL about the schedule. Come on. LOL. Shout out to Trina.
Nah, I feel
May
good
have
about
dropped
that
the
review.
ball there.
I like that review though.
May have dropped the ball. What would a Spillane say, do you think?
Man, I'm just focused on Thursday. I'll worry about the schedule for this weekend
Spillane,
when I get
there
there
might
tomorrow.
be 8 seeds.
Hey.
There might be an 8 seed.
I'll worry
now.
about that when I get to work. But yeah, I'm not thinking about them. I'm not thinking about the 8 seed versus 7 seed versus extra game versus no bye week. He would definitely hit us with that one. He was business, bro. I like it though.
Yeah.
It was like a weird, like I like though. It was like, yeah, let's go.
This is for Sam. Has joined the upper room.
Oh, you were. I just saw that. I was like, what do you mean this is for Sam? He's in the room.
That's
I'm
his
like,
name.
what? Yeah, but this is, or it's not this is for, it's this for Sam. This for Sam. We appreciate you and welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's go.
King Whopper.
Yeah. All right.
Moats. Post that picture on your IG, please. That's super cool. wait, what is going on? Oh, wait. Maybe he's talking about you, Moats? Post that. No, I don't know. Moats.
But what's on my IG or post what picture
Post
on my
that
IG?
picture on your IG, please. That's super cool. I don't think we took a picture. There's been no pictures. Were we talking about a picture?
Post that picture on your IG. Is
he still in the house?
Did I post a picture on my IG or something?
I think he's telling you to do it.
I ain't know if he was saying like, yo, you should post a picture that you didn't post, that you posted on your IG, post it like to the community page. I don't know. I'm pulling on my IG. I'm nervous. I feel like I'm tripping.
I'm just looking for some clarification if he's got anything.
Yeah, bro. I don't know.
We'll see.
Know.
King
Yeah.
Whopper, if you're still in the house, let us know what you're talking about. Thanks for the support.
You making me feel like I researched too much right now, man. Hold on, bro. Like, yo, did I post something?
You did something you forgot.
I'm like, yo, am I tripping?
Oh, damn.
That's when I started to get nervous. I'm like, yo, what did I post? I'm like, I
Cam
put something on my
Hayward butt tweet or
story. Like,
something?
yeah. I mean, it is 5:24, so I ain't. Oh, I got it.
What did he say?
Jim Himes says, your daughter wearing your gear to school. The father-daughter picture. Maybe that's what he's talking about. Because I have that, yeah, when we were in Buffalo. I definitely have that. Maybe that's what he's referring to. And now I'm seeing people say the picture behind us in terms of like the big 5'5". So, yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
King Whopper's the only one that knows.
Yeah.
We haven't heard from him.
Yeah, bro, I'm so confused,
We
man.
super chatted and bounced.
Yeah.
Dined and dash.
All right.
Fish Momentum, what's going to be the deal with Mason, his future? Not here. He's going to go somewhere else and try to probably backup, solid backup.
Yeah.
Hope the starter gets hurt or something, then he gets a chance.
Hey, man. Gino just got a Pro Bowl in him, so, you know.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
I doubt. Do you think they're gonna have a competition with Mason Rudolph in it? I think Mitch.
No,
yes.
no. Oh, when you say competition for who? In terms of in Pittsburgh?
No, not Pittsburgh. I'm saying Mitch signed somewhere. There's a chance he could be a starter week 1 next season.
Right.
Mason Rudolph, I don't think that's possible.
I see what you're
I think
saying.
he
In
has
terms of the
a
intent,
better lane potentially with another team to become a starter if there's only one guy in front of him.
Yeah, I think for him, I like it either way. I like it if he goes into a situation where he's the clear number 2, the clear backup. Like, I don't hate that if it's like
then get a guy that's a little injury prone as the starter.
Right. I like whether you take that approach or if you go somewhere where it's a mid-tier starter where this guy is young, kind of like the Jet situation. If they decide to stick with Mike White, if you're Mason Rudolph, that's your opportunity right there. You look at maybe in New York. Now, Daniel Jones has played a lot better this year.
Yeah.
But before that, he would be another guy that I would say you probably look to him and say, all right, maybe that's a guy. Depending on how confident you feel in Trevor now. Trevor down in Jacksonville, he was hot this year, yeah.
I think my take's holding up well about the top 10, like a top 10 QB.
But, like, if I'm Mason, I'm looking at some of those. Like, if I really wanted to play, like, in terms of get an opportunity to start, I'm looking at those. Yeah. Another prime example. Yep. Arizona, too. Like, because, early on in the season, you got Kylie's going to be out. He's going to be recovering from the ACL. So at least, depending on...
wait. Cardinals, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the most perfect
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mason was a former Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah.
That's the journey,
There it is.
right?
But could he beat Colt McCoy out? I don't know.
You have to. I mean, if you can't, then...
All right, Colt McCoy been doing it for a while now. You act like Colt. This ain't... What year is this for Colt? This ain't year 1. This ain't year 2 for Colt. Colt been stacking them.
Cardinals makes the most sense.
It does.
Actually, it makes the most perfect sense.
Definitely
now,
does,
I don't
man.
know if Kingsbury's system would fit Mason necessarily.
But does it fit Colt McCoy's system?
Yeah, they could do like an air
raid
offense or something, I guess, with Mason.
Yeah.
But, man, yeah.
That's the one
I don't think they're
of.
going to be moving off of Kyler.
But that at least gives you...
need a bridge guy.
And he's competent. He started in this league.
Or do they go Baker?
He's another guy, but I don't think Baker leaves the Rams. If I'm Baker, I'm staying in L.A. I am sticking with McVay because he has brought life to my career.
Baker's got that connection with Kingsbury, too.
That's cool. But who's got you the success that you've had at the NFL right now? They still trying to see if Kingsbury can do it. McVay already has proven he can do it. He already got him one of them ones. And he done made your career in the middle of where we're like, yo, this is absolutely it. No other chance. He got you out there looking good. Think about what that situation in LA right now for Baker. Man, I don't see him wanting to move that. Not right now. He got to build it up a little bit more.
Chance to start. Kingsbury.
He's had a chance to start how many places now? If you getting that chance to start, but you're not prepared for it, all you're going to do is make it worse on yourself. Can Baker fail another spot right now? In your opinion, could Baker go to another spot in fame?
You're thinking long term.
Yeah,
you're thinking like, oh, can I still somehow milk out a 10-year career?
Like
here?
He's gonna be out the league if he goes another place right now and stinks it up. Whereas if he actually develops with McVay and keeps taking advantage of these opportunities that he has, and who's he playing behind out there? We said what, an injury prone guy, or a guy that health might be a little questionable. You got the perfect scenario if you Baker.
There's no way Baker's thinking that, though.
Why wouldn't he right now?
No, what I'm saying is you believe in yourself, so. Like, if I get in this opportunity, I'll show that I'm better than Kyler.
Yes, but at the same time, you also have to be real with yourself. And your agent has to be real with you. And what are they saying is this your first stop? No. So it didn't work out the first time, right? Is this your second stop? No, it didn't work out the second time, right? So now you're at the third stop. And it actually is working out for you right now. It ain't worked out anywhere else. You actually going to leave the one spot that you actually working in? That it actually feels good and they actually might believe in you and you know you're with the wizard of all wizards as it pertains to quarterback play right now or offenses? It's like you're going to leave that to go to Kingsbury? No, I don't like that for Baker, man. I don't think Baker would think like that. I would hope not, but then again, he might think, who knows what Baker thinks now that I think about it. I'm tripping thinking I could think like Baker. You're right. Baker might think that he can go beat out Josh Allen in Buffalo, as far as we know. Hey, he might think that he's nicer than Kenny Pickett, as far as we know.
That's false.
What if Baker came and signed here as a backup?
No, hell no. We don't need that right now.
What's the difference?
We don't.
This is number 2.
No, we're good. No drama, none of that stuff.
What drama? He has zero drama in L.A., so we can't say drama. He has zero drama in L.A.
No,
It's zero drama from Baker in L.A.
We ain't doing that.
What's wrong? You nervous about it?
I'm not no, hell no. I'm the opposite of it.
But
I'm
wouldn't he
not
make?
nervous
But
at all.
wouldn't he make if Kenny were to go down? Because Kenny's missed time this year already, right?
Yeah.
From injuries. At least you would have another guy that would make you feel confident, like when Mitch went out there.
He would be a high end backup, but no.
So you don't want a high end backup?
It's just not a vibe. It's not a vibe.
So you don't like a high end backup? What's the vibe? What's the vibe from Baker? Baker's just like a team guy. He headbutts his teammates, man. He cheers them on. He runs down the field. He celebrates them.
I'd consider Mason Rudolph a high end backup. I don't think he's gonna want to come back here, but I'd prefer that.
Even if it's a scenario where it's Baker, though? Baker got more pedigree,
Mason versus
more
Baker as the
proven.
You don't want a celebrity backup like that.
Oh, he's a celebrity?
I gotta give him
who's
credit.
the bigger celebrity, though? Would it be Baker or Kenny as the bigger celebrity in Pittsburgh?
Kenny.
That's what I'm saying. So he ain't even go with the celeb. We good.
Yeah, but Baker, we know who Baker is. He's got cachet.
He's the number 2 guy, though. He'll be low key.
Yeah, I gotta give him credit. He has been this year, but no, there's no reason for it.
There is a reason for it because we're going to potentially have a void at the number 2 and number 3 spot, or the 2 and 2A spot on our depth chart at quarterback, man.
Guy. It doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be Baker. It doesn't need to be Baker. He's a fine backup option. He could be a fine backup option for the Rams. It just
So if he's a fine backup option, why doesn't it work? Why?
It just doesn't work here, dude. You want a guy like he's thinking, and this is what I said earlier. I feel like Baker still believes he's that guy. I mean, this is
he
why
should,
he
right?
got to this point.
But it's nothing wrong
Chip
with
on the
him
shoulder.
believing like that.
No, but that's not. I just don't feel like that's the guy you really need as the backup to Kenny Pickett. Right? This is Kenny Pickett's team.
You don't think Baker understands that that's Matthew Stafford's team?
Yeah, but dude, there's a difference with
What's the difference?
Stafford's more established in the league. Pickett coming off his rookie year.
But it's Kenny though.
I agree.
And he's in Pittsburgh.
I think Pickett's the franchise guy. So
Yeah.
there's no reason for it, dude. I don't even, you wouldn't even do it. You're just bringing it up. You're just trying to ruffle feathers.
We're just talking about backup, so it don't matter how good he is if he's backup.
Are you bringing
It
him
doesn't
in right
matter.
now? You're Omar Khan.
I'm bringing Baker and I'm bringing Dobbs in.
Come
How
on,
about
dude.
that?
Actually, Dobbs wouldn't be a terrible option.
So you want to bring Dobbs in, but you want to bring Baker in. So who's the better player, Baker or Dobbs? Who helps your team win more? If Kenny goes down, God forbid, and we needed to get out of it, who gives you more?
Dobbs will show me some stuff on Thursday Night Football.
Fair enough. Baker showed you something early on in his small sample size too on Thursday Night
if
Football.
You're asking me Baker versus Dobbs right now. Baker is the more accomplished player.
Yeah. And y'all know I love Dobbs. That is my dude right there, baby. That's my dude.
I think Dobbs would just be a better backup for our situation.
I feel like you say better when it's like less threatening.
I don't know if that's. I don't think it has to be threatening or not.
So if we're just talking talent and we're talking who helps you win a game, what's the hang up then?
Because we're talking backup.
Right.
We're talking
specifically a backup. So when we're talking backup quarterbacks, you mean to tell me Baker isn't a better option than any of these other guys that you're naming as backups who have never even started for 16 plus games? You see what I mean? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
How are we talking here? Are we talking one game? Because I don't think it's that deep. If it's because that's what you're looking for in a backup. If your guy goes down for the whole season,
no,
you're in a different scenario.
Nick Foles scenario, Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz was there for the whole ride. Could you get me out of there for them last 4?
No one thought that was Nick Foles.
Yes, we did.
That was the biggest outlier scenario I've ever seen.
But we've seen it now, and we believe it. Yeah.
No, that was the biggest outlier scenario ever. I just don't think Baker would be. It's not a move we're gonna do. It's not a Steeler move. I don't think it would be.
Why
really
is it a
smart
Steeler move? So it's not Steeler move to get
like Kenny
talent
Pickett's
to
the
be
guy.
better.
Baker has that alpha type of mentality, whether he should or he shouldn't. This is what got him to this point. Like,
so you worried about the mentality?
Nah, it's just
it's
not wise.
We got the same mentality at receiver. We got George
team,
Pickens and Deontay Johnson both for alphas. They both have that number 1 receiver mentality, that dog in them that we love. We don't triple on that.
You get 3 or 4 receivers on the field at the same time. There's only one quarterback. This is Pickett's team, man. This is Pickett's team, and he's proved that.
But no one said it wasn't. We just said Baker as the backup. It's a high-end backup. We say we want a high-end backup, a little bit more veteran option as a backup. There you go. High-end veteran. It's going to be cheap.
Dude, do you want him?
I just love hearing these reasons of why you don't want him. That's all. Yeah. Because every time you talk about like a reason why you don't want him and you'll name somebody that you potentially like do want, I'm just like, how's that better than this option though? Outside of just the threat. But I don't think it's really a threat. But your actions make it seem like it's a threat. That's all. Like
I think it's stupid. Like I think no matter what because Baker has been chill.
Yeah.
No matter what the reward could be for having Baker, I don't want any risk. Like it's just
okay.
I just want zero risk with Dobbs. Zero risk. Mason Rudolph. Zero risk.
But you also have the risk of what if Kenny were to go down, you being limited at quarterback.
Yeah, but this, in my opinion, this would go to the whole Tomlin like living your fears. You're not thinking that. Like,
fair enough.
You're thinking Pickett's our guy for next season.
So that's why you don't live in your fears, and you bring in a high end backup like Baker. Boom.
I think you got to be smart too.
You living in your fears, because you worried about what it began with a distraction.
No, but, it's not. Yeah, I think it's just stupid too. Like you drafted Pickett as the first round guy. Just don't bring in another first overall pick. Want to hide? Like don't do that.
Is it Mr. Biscuit first rounder too?
Yeah, but dude, these are all different scenarios. They signed Mitch before we drafted Pickett. If anything, us drafting Pickett
but you said Mitch coming back though would be fine too, though, right?
I'm fine with that too.
So how does that work? Was Mitch a top 5 pick?
Yeah, this Mitch versus Baker is different. But dude, Baker has more history with this stuff of like ruffling feathers, and like Mitch had none of that with Chicago. Upstanding citizen up there, like never complained. Like it was a rocky road for him, but you didn't hear any drama coming from Mitch Trubisky. And you haven't heard that this year.
For sure, we ain't heard any from Baker either, though. Just remember that.
I got to give him credit this year. I will give him credit this year, but we have a history with him that, like I said, I just don't think any reward for a backup quarterback is worth that risk. It's almost like a general rule.
I'm just trying to figure out, if we haven't seen any of these things that people talk about, oh, he gonna be a distraction, he gonna trip out. It's like we've seen him at 2 other spots now. He ain't tripping Carolina where he had plenty of opportunity to trip there.
Here's the other thing though too. I mean, I know we're talking about a Baker versus Dobbs. Yeah, I think Baker,
because we're just looking at him
with the body of work.
Yeah, we're saying exclusively as a backup, not as a starter, as the backup.
But I mean, he hasn't done anything crazy with the Rams though.
And we're as a backup. So we're talking about as a backup then.
But this is what I'm saying. Like I don't know why he's considered that much better of an option.
This is my question then. So this is my question then. If Baker Mayfield's name was anything else, if Baker Mayfield had any other name, would you feel that way still? If it wasn't Baker from Cleveland, if it was whoever else, but the exact same stat line, exact same team success and everything like that, would you still have that same stance on it?
Wait,
because talent-wise,
Baker.
Yeah, I'm saying like the name because
I can't separate.
Well, because it's the thing, you're hung up on personality, but then you make the argument for talent, and I think that is very different in terms of how we view Baker. If you want to give me the personality part, and that's the case for a Mason or a Dobbs, yeah. But if we're talking talent-wise, that's where I disagree. I don't think I don't think that what Mason and Dobbs have done talent-wise, or even have shown potential to do talent-wise, is in the same field as what Baker has shown that he can actually do, and with some of the moments that he has where he flashes like he can be a really, really good quarterback. That's all. But
sure, he is more out there, 100%.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, man.
But I'm just saying, like, if you needed
nothing wrong with him, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with being a backup, bro.
If you needed a game or two from Baker, Dobbs, or Mason next year, like, I don't know if there's that big of a difference at all. If you needed one game, now in the past, I'm with you because Baker has shown way more in that category. But just where Baker is right now in his career versus
where is he at though? Where is he at right now?
I don't know if it's that big of a difference.
Is Baker arrow pointed up or arrow pointed down right now since being in LA?
I mean, he was rock bottom, so yes, the arrow is pointing up.
So it's everything you need, bro. No. He's our backup, bro. Come on, man.
No.
He don't wear number 7.
No.
He be good, man.
I guess he's rock. Well, he's 17.
Do we have a 17? Do we have a
6 available? Oh no.
We can't do 6. Yeah.
No Baker. That ship has very much sailed.
Oh man, that's crazy.
You still haven't answered if you would do it.
That's crazy. If we're just talking about it as a backup, I don't hate it because I'm all for talent. I'm all for talent, and I don't mind a little bit of competition. I still think that Kenny beats it out and it's fine, but I don't mind having players that are good. I don't fret or fear personalities because that's more something that I feel gets blown out of proportion media-wise and fan-wise. As a guy who's been in a locker room with a lot of personalities, a lot of dudes that are a little bit more outspoken than others. Some guys that are just, have weird vibes about them. When you're in that locker room, man, we don't think about that stuff. We're not tripping on that type of stuff because we got the common goal. And that's what we always say when people talk about like the distractions. Like, we don't view stuff as distractions. We don't even think of it like that until a media member or a fan says, hey, man, is this distracting? We're like, huh? What? Bro, I didn't even think about that. So I don't look at Baker as, oh, he would be just this awful distraction. Man, we had Vic here when they were protesting outside. You think we looked at it as a distraction? Nah. We're just like, bro, these people got a lot of time on their hand to protest every single day this man come to work. That's how we looked at it. When it was the national anthem without, it was like, all right, this is crazy, but hey, we still coming to work today because we got to work. We got to get a job done. Whether we talking AB, good AB, bad AB. L Bell. Is L Bell beefing with this player or are we good? You know what I mean? Take it to the Buffalo, man. I got Stevie Johnson, a big personality, man. He very outspoken as well. Had a Marshawn Lynch in there as well. Are these people that people can say have been distractions or are distractions, stuff like that? And it's like, nah. When you're in the locker room, man, you're not thinking about that. So that's for me why I don't trip on Baker. I don't look at Baker as this like, oh man, it's such a distraction, because to me, I'm like, this is a dude that's competing. He's outspoken. He doesn't fit the quarterback mold of button up, say what you're supposed to say, and not talk. He plays and talks like, like he one of the dudes, but he plays that position that's frowned upon. And I think that's part of why they talk about him and he has that narrative around him. So that's why for me, I'm like, yeah, I ain't tripping on it. I would have him here. He would be back up because I think he's talented enough to be a dope number 2. And if he's my number 3, worst case scenario, I'm like, dude, my defense is seeing a dope first top tier quarterback at one point in time, in terms of like where he was drafted at, and a guy who's won in his league. So either way, I'm winning because I'm getting my guys getting quality looks versus it being some dude that has never done that in stadium before. That's just my thought process, though.
I'm good on Baker.
Yeah.
Fisher momentum. What's going to be the deal with? Oh wait, I already read that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's what sparked the conversation, right? Yeah, that was the last one we read.
Should have been, yeah.
Zanan Bowie, Deke, Pitt's going to have their hands full against Notre Dame this year. Talking about football, we do go.
We
do go at Notre Dame. That'd be a cool game to go to.
You think they like that still?
Notre Dame?
Yeah.
They did finish the season hot.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were ranked in the top 25 last time I checked. It's gonna be a good game.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a good game.
I like y'all in it. You think y'all get them though?
Well, it'll be a Jerkovich revenge game.
Oh.
That's the school we picked first. He went.
You are right.
He went Notre Dame. I think we're gonna have a good team next year. I do. Even though we're gonna lose Izzy, this Ronnie Hammond dude.
Yeah.
He's legit. He's like we have low key kind of become RBU in a way. Sean McCoy, James Conner.
Oh yeah, I got some folk.
Deion Lewis, Ray Graham.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the unsung, one of the unsung dudes.
Now, who
Pitt.
is that? The one you said was better than Deion? No,
I thought he was.
That was the one, right? Yeah, okay.
I really did. I thought he was, but he got banged up. Like LeBron James. This was back when, I don't know, when the hell was this? Twitter was pretty early.
So what?
Man, was this?
10,
This was like 09, 10.
Oh, but say yeah.
Like,
you said pretty early.
We had a Thursday night football game. I'll never forget this. Ray Graham went off like 250, like over 200 yards. Just absolutely went off. We were going up against South Florida. Like LeBron James, like even shouted him out. Like this dude Ray Graham, like he's a bad man, something like that.
Yeah, when you said South Florida, that reminded me of like when they had was it BJ Daniels?
Yeah.
Yeah. They JPP. I just thought about it. Yeah, you're right. They had a little squad. They had some peoples on there.
No, Ray Graham was legit. I think injuries hurt him. He was really good. We had a nice 1-2 punch with him and Deion Lewis, but I thought Ray Graham was better. Who else? Yeah, James Conner. Now Izzy's going to be going pro. I mean, you got to even think back. Tony Dorsett.
We
had Curtis Martin come out of here.
Oh, no, y'all got some dudes. We ain't tripping.
Who's the one to play for Kevin Barlow? He was a good pro. Okay. RBU. I think that's it.
Throw the label on it there, man. Go ahead and stamp it there, man.
I think we have it.
Go ahead and stamp it there, man.
I'm thinking about it.
Go ahead and stamp that thing. I'm trying.
But no, we're going to be good. Ronnie Hammond, he's legit, man. He's absolutely legit. It's just, I think it'll be a good game. I don't think, like, right now, if I had to make the spread, it's probably close to even, I'd say.
Okay.
We got to see what we look like, though. We got a lot of these transfers coming in, a lot of dudes coming home.
Yeah, I got to see what this Notre Dame going to look like, too, man.
You're out on them.
I believe in y'all guys a little bit more.
Yeah, we got a tough.
I'm going to say I believe in y'all a little bit more.
We got Notre Dame, and then obviously WVU at WVU.
Oh, we get. I'm trying to think. We don't really have like a crazy in terms of some of that out of conference, but we do got. we finally get UVA. We ain't played them in forever, but now we finally get them on the schedule, so that's exciting. Yeah,
Oh, that's a big game.
JMU versus UVA. Oh, absolutely. Like we've been wanting this for a while, man. So we're excited about that one. We got a Utah State up there, and the rest is just Sun Belt. Yeah. Eventually, we're gonna get we're gonna get a Notre Dame up there one of these days, man. You just got
the Deke versus Moats Bowl. Pitt versus JMU.
Oh, we got UConn. That's who it is. Yeah. So see, we starting to make our way up there. We're gonna start flirting around with these teams a little bit. Then before you know, we'll call y'all.
Those are good teams to do it with.
Absolutely.
UConn and Virginia.
Yeah, absolutely. You see what we doing? You is ACC-ish, right? Catch my drift. It's like, let me just see what we talk. Let's just see what it look like. That's it. You just dip your toe in. That's it.
Fish Momentum, Arthur Moats / football and crossover episode, ?
Oh. No, it's definitely something that we considering, man. Hey.
Sean McCartney, disappointed in myself for saying the season was over early in the season. Listen, that's all we asked for. Our
Shout out to
apologies.
accountability, man. Accountability
That's
is
all we
real,
asked
baby.
for.
No, we salute you, Sean McCartney. Salute you. Don't be disappointed in yourself. We salute you. Accountability, self-awareness. It's beautiful.
Happy the Steelers proved me wrong by winning. Here we go, Steelers.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Fish Momentum, January 21st is early B Day. Shout out to my dad, Jack Meyer, Sr.
Let's go.
I guess he's 72 years old.
Let's go. Let's go. Early B-Day shout out then for Mr. Jack Myers. Senior.
I'm devastated. Let's go, UW. NFLPA Executive Director Demar Smith said the league has not proposed an idea of adding an 8th team to both conferences for the postseason.
Okay.
I am devastated.
Okay.
So that was just Florio and Pro Football Talk making some stuff up.
Okay.
God damn it.
Well, we will see what happens, though, man. Either way, we will see, man.
It hasn't been proposed, but it's
It
out
ain't-
there.
exactly.
Obviously,
Yep, that's
now
all
you
I'm
see
saying.
that could be an option. So,
Yeah.
hey, can we do something?
Yeah, that's the other thing that we do at times. If we get a report like this, we just instantly shoot it down. It's like, oh man, it's not gonna happen now. It's like, nah, just because it hasn't been proposed doesn't
Like,
mean
now
that it
you
won't
obviously
be proposed.
see
Exactly. Yeah.
It could be an option.
Yeah, because a lot of times, Coach Tomlin, it's one of my favorite sayings that he has. Hey man, I don't care where a good idea comes from. You know what I mean? If it's a good idea, we're gonna use it. That's what we on, bro. I don't care where it comes from. And right here, hey, if it came from Deke and Deke thought this was a good idea, and the NFL's like, you know what, we can make this work. I think this is da 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 da. Roll with it.
So all I need to do is make a fake report then that the NFL has proposed it, because that would get their attention.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's what Pro Football Talk did.
But also, when we talk about the reports, it just depends on who your source is, because it could still very well have come from somebody that's
Maybe
very
it's coming
deep
from the
into.
inside.
That's what I'm saying. Like, very
Fake
well could have
source.
been that. Yeah. But that's just a part of when you play that game of sources and trying to get information ahead of time. You just never know. I mean, it might work out this time that the source becomes accurate. It might, where that source thought it was good, but then the person changed their mind. Like, it's a lot of that goes on because it's so many people in this decision too.
Richard Hunt, Dobbs comes here as a career backup. # love that. Dobbs probably doesn't love that. I mean, he's got a
Absolutely,
chance
yeah.
here. He could be in the playoffs. You win this game.
He got in Tennessee. He get another chance to start too because of how well he played. That's the other part.
I think he
Yeah.
deserved it. I mean, Malik
Yep.
Willis wasn't moving the offense like Dobbs was. They
Mhm.
actually had some hope
Yeah,
with Dobbs in there.
they were just dropping passes. That was
They
it.
were dropping
Yeah.
passes. Dobbs got to clean up some stuff with the
Mhm.
fumble and the pick late. But
Yeah.
no, I think I was actually pretty
Mhm.
impressed with how Dobbs played. I was
I
surprised.
was too, man.
I was like, wait, this is Dobbs?
Oh, see, I was
this,
surprised. I was surprised.
this throw was Dobbs?
That's Dobbs.
That's
Dobbs.
I got to give him some
Just
credit.
give my man an opportunity, man. Not Dobbs.
Is Derrick Henry playing? I mean, that'll help him too because he didn't have Derrick
he ain't
Henry.
have
either.
Henry.
That Titans
I don't
defense
know.
was screwing up left and right with
Yeah.
penalties. I actually watched that whole game.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for
I was
Super
glad
Chats.
it was a push that night too, man. So I ain't have to feel bad or good. It was like, thank you.
Oh, I definitely thought I had it.
I did too.
I thought I had it.
I definitely did too. I was like, "Yep, thank you, Dobbs. You hurt me." And then I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, all is
It
well.
was that Titans
all
defense
is well."
with those penalties
Yep.
that ruined it because they were actually playing
That's what
some
it
good
was.
defense.
They were. Yep.
And it was 3rd and long every time.
Kevin
It'd be a
Byers getting them
penalty.
picks and everything too, man. Yeah, they was doing their thing.
Yeah,
man.
Dak was not looking good.
Nope.
He was not
Nope.
looking good.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All righty. So yeah, man, we are caught up there. I don't actually even know what the next topic is, but let's find out. How about that?
Well, while you're transitioning, Chills21 says in the super chat, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Chilla, a.k.a. Stangmang21. I
Oh.
guess he changed his username.
Oh, hey now.
That was a super old handle, LOL. Shout out to the Shout out to y'all in the chat. Here we go.
Let's go. Let's go. I like that, baby. I like that. Now, what we do need to do, and I totally forgot about this, we got to talk this official preview, get our score prediction in.
Sure.
Advantages, disadvantages. Let me tap into that real quick. Let's do that, and then we'll wrap up everything else after that. Sound good? Because I'm about to say it's definitely 5:50. Yeah. So,
Oh, I got sidetracked. I didn't know we started at 3.
yeah, I didn't either. It didn't hit me. I was like, oh, yeah, we wildin'. But I like it. But, yeah, I was like, oops.
We started at 3. I was like, oh, we still got like 40 minutes. I'm serious.
I did, too. I looked, I was like, the only thing that made me realize we didn't, I seen this ticker say 2:44 at the top. I was like, oh, it's been that long. It's like that when you're having a good time, though.
Yeah, this was a good.
Shout out to the coach. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the homie Robert Spillane as well, man. But in terms of this matchup, man, Steelers, Browns, I'm excited about it, man, for a couple of reasons. Number one, man, it's AFC North football, it's rivalry game. A lot on stake, or a lot on the line for the Steelers team. Whether you're talking postseason, whether you're talking just it being the Browns, rectifying the loss that we had to them earlier in the year, not getting swept by them. Whether you're talking about no losing seasons for Coach T, all of those things are at play here, man. And just finishing the season strong, even if postseason doesn't work out for us, because obviously we know we are dependent on others still. But in that vein, I do feel, that this is one of those ones that we should be excited about. And when we talk some of the advantages that I think the Steelers are going to have, the first thing is how highly motivated they're going to be. We obviously know the Demar Hamlin situation, but I think it does hold more weight in Pittsburgh in terms of using the motivation element versus a Browns team, just because of the closeness of it. We literally share the building with Pitt. Like, it's right there. So when you hear, how Coach Tomlin can speak on it, when you can hear how, these players are talking about the impact and how they can feel it, they feel it because where he went to school at, that's right next door. Them dudes are hurting. They're loving on him as well. That energy is contagious, man, and you feel that for the city. The next thing, man, when you talk about no losing seasons, Robert Spillane came up here and talked about that. You could hear he was not playing. Not at all. That's of great importance,
talking
man.
History.
Like, I'm telling you, bro.
We're not going to be this team.
I'm telling you, bro.
Catalog.
Like, you do not want to be that team. You would much rather be one of the teams that you kind of just get forgotten about in the how many years of winning versus be that outlier team that y'all are the ones that stunk it up. You don't want to be that. They understand that. But then at the end of it, they understand that they got postseason hopes that are very much in play. You're asking the Jets to beat the Dolphins. It's not unheard of.
Everything happens at 1. That's gonna be electric. So
you don't have the letdown of, hey, we're kicking off at 4, but we already know this team is out of it, so we don't stand a chance. Nah, when you kick off, man, everything is live action. So the motivation that I think the Steelers are going to come out with is going to help them start fast, which is critical. The next thing I think we'll have an advantage in is our run game. I think that we can definitely run on this team. Their inner part of their defense is the softer part of their defense. When you talk about attacking them, that's kind of how I like it. When you're talking about running on them, man, run directly at them. Don't allow their smaller players to be space players and be athletes. Make them play big boy football. Make them play the type of football that they don't want to do necessarily. And if we hadn't shown that we could do it against a Baltimore Ravens defense last week, I wouldn't be as strong on as doing it this time, because we obviously know how it went the first go around. We had some success, but we couldn't sustain it. This time, I'm like, man, there is nothing that's going to stop us from being able to run this ball down their throat and make them like it. And that's the thing that I think we will be able to do on a consistent basis. And then the third thing that I think we'll have a really significant advantage in is the pass rush. Our guys, in terms of TJ, Highsmith, Larry Ogunjobi, and Cam Hayward, those are not guys that you want a one-on-one pass block. The Cleveland Browns, they do a lot of that right now because of how frequently they throw the ball with Deshaun Watson. And that is going to allow those guys to have multiple opportunities to win their one-on-one, to just go out there and cook. And that's the part that I think we will be able to take advantage of, because it's already been shown, even with lesser talented teams and lesser talented pass rushes, have already been able to have advantages there. Now, when we flip it and talk about some areas that I personally think we might, just have to be a little bit more alert for, or areas where we might struggle in, got to talk Amari Cooper. We saw him first game. We know who he is in terms of his career, what he's been capable of. these past couple of games, him and Deshaun Watson have also been able to start to build a little bit more of a rapport, a little bit more of a connection. Amari was already cooking when it was Jacoby Brissett. We saw that happening as well. His run after catch ability, he's ultra fundamental, tough, just a complete receiver, so he's definitely a guy that when you talk about top tier talent or elite players at a position, he's just one of those guys that you just got to be alert for. Not saying that you panic over it, but you got to respect it. And that's what Amari Cooper is. Next, of course, Myles Garrett. We know here we don't value him like that because we got TJ Watt, and we know those two guys compete for a lot of awards and stuff like that. And we always going to say our guy's the best and their guy sucks, period. But outside of him sucking because he's not TJ Watt, he is actually a really good player against the run and the pass, and he can be a game changer, a game wrecker. I think he's at, 14 sacks right now for them. Still trying to go and beat his own record that he just set out there in terms of sacks in the season for them. So, he's one of them dudes that you got to be, worried about. And we know the matchup that he's going to have also in terms of Dan Moore. That's the one where we already know with Dan, we need him to keep going on the up pointed arrow in terms of where he's been pointing trajectory wise. So that's one of those ones. And then just the third thing I had, and it's nothing of crazy significance, but I do feel like they're starting to gel a little bit more. I don't just specifically bring up Nick Chubb because we know who Nick Chubb is. We know that's their identity, but them gelling is what's making them a little bit more of just that weirdness about them, because when they're starting to connect a little bit with this Deshaun Watson and Amari Cooper stuff, it can force you to not be able to just pack the box. And that is where issues could potentially arise if you're not able to have that extra defender down there to account for a Nick Chubb, because of them starting to just get a little bit more on the same page passing wise. So hopefully they don't continue to improve this week and they'll wait till the offseason to make even more strides. But just watching them on tape, they have been getting better. It's not a crazy jump, but it has been enough. And that's been reflected even in some of their games. And that's just one of those things for me where I'm just like, let's make sure that we are buttoned up there to not overlook them. But, that's kind of how I felt about it, though, man. What say you, my partner, though?
I think it's pretty simple. Like the one comment said, I forget who said this, someone in the super chat. Stop the run and run the ball. And what's funny about that, I was thinking this on my way over. I was just thinking about even yesterday when we were doing strengths and weaknesses and how we can win the game and whatnot. This has been the scenario for, I'd say, 75% of the season.
Okay.
Run the ball, stop the run. Am I wrong? Like, I'm looking at the games.
I mean, we super simplify it like that.
Huh?
I said we super simplify it like that.
Nah, but like, hold on.
Yeah.
So Bengals first week. All right, no, not like that. Patriots, I would say, yeah. We were like, dude, just stop the run, make Mac Jones and those bum receivers beat us. Browns, same thing. They got Brissett. We got to stop the run.
Yeah.
Jets.
But what got us in
thing.
that Browns game, though?
Huh?
I think about that Browns game, though. What was it that was getting us?
Drops on offense. And then on defense, we couldn't stop the run.
Yeah.
And then Jets, kind of the same thing. They stop the run. Make Zach Wilson beat us.
Yeah, not allow him to extend the play. No.
That's true, too. Miami Dolphins, stop the run. Well, Bills, Buccaneers, I wouldn't really say that was a key. Miami Dolphins, Eagles, a lot of that, but no, that was a little bit more dynamic. But then the second half of the season, outside of the Bengals, I feel like that's been the whole strategy.
No, it has been.
Saints,
and
Colts,
don't turn
Falcons,
that ball over,
Ravens,
man.
Panthers, Raiders in a cold game with Jacobs leading the league in rushing. Like, that's been the key. So I feel like it's the same thing with the Browns right here. Now, Deshaun Watson, let's see if he's getting on that pace right now for the last game of the season, because I don't necessarily think this will be the key for next year.
Right.
But with how
I'm
the
with you on
Browns
that.
have
I'm
been
with you.
playing and transitioning, they're still not making Watson do that much. So we got to stop the Browns run, clearly, and hey, run the ball. Yeah. Najee Harris against that Browns defensive line, I think we should have success.
We need
now,
to,
Pickett,
man.
I think it could be the same type of scenario as last week or these last couple weeks. He's just going to have to make plays, but he's been proving that more and more. Absolutely. He's that type of dude to show up in the clutch.
And do not turn that ball over, please.
So what was that? I'd say literally that's like 75% of the games. We're going up against limited quarterback. Now, I'm not saying I'm not saying Deshaun
I
Watson.
know we're talking about right now. We're in this stage right now. Yeah,
I'm not saying he's at the tier of Andy Dalton or like Matt Ryan.
We're talking about like for Sunday.
Mariota.
Yeah, for this Sunday coming up.
He hasn't been the Deshaun Watson of old,
Absolutely.
and that's why stopping the run is going to be a key.
Yeah.
But that's what literally we've been doing ever since the bye, and that's some of the games before the bye. That was our goal too. And we have a pretty good run defense. I believe in them to get the job done here.
Yeah.
What did I say? I said bold prediction for last week, under 100 yards for the Ravens. It was close.
So you pull up the box scores from that Browns game last time too.
They got
no
171.
171 with what was their receiving? Like I wanted to know specifically
205 passing.
No, the specifics of like how much did Coop end with and what did Chubb end with? Those numbers specifically.
You want me to guess on Cooper?
Yeah.
He had over 100 for sure.
I thought he had like 129, right?
He had over 100.
Yeah.
I mean, Witherspoon was getting cooked.
Yeah.
IMC.
Because I'm trying to think. Like I remember them running the ball, but I was like, yo, I still remember them like
they
throwing
did it.
that
They
rock,
did it
though.
pretty good in the second half.
That's what it was. Okay.
Chubb had 113. Kareem Hunt had 47.
And
And then Cooper had 101.
101.
And Njoku, 89.
That's who. Okay, I was about to say, bro. I could have sworn it with throwing on us, bro.
89.
That's who it was. Njoku.
He had 9 receptions. It was
That's
just
the
him.
one.
It was literally
He
just
was the
him
one.
and Cooper.
Yep.
Cooper
Yeah.
had they threw a couple deep shots to Cooper. Yeah, let's just do that. I
Yeah.
feel like our secondary is a little bit better now than it was then. I feel like we're just playing better as a full defense,
What's going
and we
on
got
with,
T.J. Watt.
Well, I was gonna also
that's
say,
another big
what's
thing.
up with your boy Levi Wallace? I mean, not
I
Levi.
got an injury report.
Akello, Witherspoon. Yeah.
No, he's done. William Jackson though, practicing,
Okay.
eligible to return.
And so he's the only one that came back to practice then.
Have you seen
No,
Witherspoon?
that's what I was
practicing?
asking. No,
He's not on the injury report. I haven't seen any headlines of him
because I
returning
thought
either.
Akello
We put him
had-
on IR.
Yeah, but I thought that he was another. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
though.
check. Might have happened. Yeah, I could go through the injury report real
Yeah,
quick.
do that,
too.
yeah.
We got an updated one. Deontay full. Norwood limited hamstring. Najee just resting, but he was full today.
7 days ago, December 29th, 2022. On Wednesday, injured cornerback Akello Witherspoon returned to practice. I know I won't trip, but yeah.
Oh, he's
He
back?
still remains on the IR with the designation to return. He has 21 days, but obviously we know, regular season and stuff like that. But yeah.
Okay. Him and Jackson could return.
Mm-hmm.
Arthur Millette, DNP. Wow, yeah, I mean, yeah. This is an illness with him, though. So we got
Cut up boys so sick with it. Oh,
we got
let's
Pierre
go,
in
man.
the concussion protocol, but he's full practice these
Okay.
last 2 days.
We like
What I was gonna say is we got 2 cornerbacks on this list right now, so we could use the secondary depth if Akello or William Jackson came back. I'm guessing Pierre, if he's full these last 2 days. Although sometimes the concussion protocol and practice participation can be a little weird.
Because I'm trying to think when Kenny set. You're right. Yeah. Well,
He
no,
was limited.
though.
He was limited both.
Yeah. We'll see though. Yeah, we'll
And
see.
this is Pierre's first one.
Yeah.
Minka ankle DNP.
We
Oh,
talked
no.
about that stank
Oh,
spat
no.
he had on that ankle, bruh. Oh my.
Good thing we're not seeing Edmonds or Casey on this though.
Now was Minka DNP yesterday as well?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see about tomorrow. Then.
Miles Jack DNP.
Growing 2
groin.
days in a row.
Yep. Highsmith limited ankle.
Flesh wound. He aight.
Yeah, he was fine yesterday, and then he
That's
popped
flesh
up limited
wound.
today.
Yeah, flesh wound.
Dotson full shoulder was
Okay.
DNP yesterday.
Because he was moving.
Cam
on the
Hayward
dudes.
resting.
Let the OG vet. Let him get a tape.
Ogunjobi toe DNP.
You know he gonna have that toe. He gonna have that knee. You know what I'm saying? He gonna have that hammy. Like that.
They got a couple big ones here.
That's what she said.
Denzel Ward DNP shoulder,
Hmm.
and then Conklin DNP ankle. Mari Cooper and Garrett both resting.
Okay.
Illness for Ethan Pochich, center DNP.
No, but you said I'm trying to think. Was Conklin DNP yesterday too, or no?
Yeah. Then the only other guys, Isaiah Thomas, defensive end, DNP foot.
All right.
Dearness Johnson, I'm sorry, limited as well.
Yeah. He had his little run though.
Yeah, he did.
He had his little run. He even got
Last year he had a little run.
had his little LeBron tweet. Now, everybody got the LeBron tweets but me, man. I low-key be salty about that. Can I Deke, I was salty about it.
I thought you were gonna get one.
No, I'd never have thought I was gonna get one. I just be sad when I be seeing other people get it. And I be like, dang, man, that was my opportunity. I needed to ball out on a Thursday night game versus the Browns. Oh man, wow, dang. That's all. It just hurt me. Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't want much of life. Just gotta get a tweet. Dang.
It's still doable.
We'll see.
We get this podcast worldwide. Season episode.
Hey, you know
what?
what?
Maybe he comes on.
Maybe they be the opposite, you know, because you got this.
The shop.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Might be nah, it ain't no conflict of interest, man. We'll do our show and they show. It's all good.
That's it for the injury report. Yeah, my main thing is, hey, just keep doing what we're doing. Really?
Nah, facts.
Honestly, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess we got to worry about Njoku a little bit, but.
And it's funny to say that though, because Spillane did mention him too. Think about it, when he was talking about, he was like, after we get done with Chubb, he was like, you got Njoku, who's like a small forward out there, and it would make sense for them to even bring him up because I'm sure if Coach Tomlin, yeah, he's definitely gonna bring that game. Yeah, absolutely. So that would make sense. I like it.
Andrews cooked this last week. So
yeah, I like it.
It can be a weakness for us.
Yeah. All right, so prediction time, man. How we getting it in?
It's pretty simple. We ain't losing this game.
Can't lose it.
We're just not losing.
Can't lose it. Can't happen.
And
drop your score predictions in the chat as well, please.
I'll add another prediction too. Jets beat the Dolphins and the Bills beat the Patriots. What do you know? Steelers in the playoffs. The one team, and we just talked about it, the one team that the rest of the league does not want to see right now.
Mm-hmm.
What else do I need to add to all this? Because I feel like I'm a broken record. I feel like Pickett's going to play good, and he's been proving me right consistently. I feel like we're going to be able to run the ball. There was that stat that someone pulled up. We're top 3, or Najee Harris is top 3 in rushing.
Since the bye and everything.
Since the bye week. So he's been proving me right. So that's why is that not going to continue? Our defense continues to play pretty solid and stopping the run. That's what the Browns do good. But you saw what we did against the Ravens last week. We did a pretty damn good job of stopping that run. So let's do it against the Browns. And then Deshaun Watson. Yeah, he's a little rusty. He still ain't the Deshaun Watson from the Texans. Now, granted, yeah, he has been playing better a little bit these last couple games.
He ain't doing it like that, though.
No, I feel like with a T.J. Watt, with a Highsmith,
yeah,
Browns O-line, yeah, it's traditionally good. It's got that track record, but it could be had in the passing game. It's good.
Thank you.
Run blocking, but passing game with a Highsmith, a T.J. Watt, and with an Ogunjobi and Hayward, commanding the middle of the field there.
I low-key looking, I'm like, reputation. I don't want it. The reputation ain't backing up what I'm seeing on tape right now, man. I'm with you.
And we did, we did fine against Watson whenever he was with the Texans. And granted, he didn't have the running game that he has with the Browns, but he had, I think, more offensive weapons. He had like a Will Fuller and a Brandon Cooks.
No.
So it's probably more equal than I'm giving credit for. With some of these, as I mentioned in the likes and dislikes, some of those secondary Browns guys have stepped up a little bit more with Peoples-Jones and then Njoku. They got a Cooper. Close, but yeah, Browns' running game's a little bit better. But Deshaun Watson is not the same Deshaun Watson from the Texans as of right now. Yeah. Could he get there over this offseason and into next year?
We'll worry about that then.
Yeah, exactly. It's tough. It is still Deshaun. I don't want to say like I'm not worried about him.
That's my whole. That's why I said
you
it's
heard
starting
TG.
to improve. You heard me. I said it's starting to improve because I'm like.
You heard TG where it's just like, could it be this like snap of a finger
because
game?
Because the thing is, we don't know how long it's going to take for it to click. But when it's kind of like, if Seven were to come out of retirement, how many games do you think it would take for him to click? You see what I mean?
I mean,
like
right off the bat,
it's just like how many games does it take to click? How many games? And when you watch him, I'm just like, oh, how many? Like I've seen it too many times be elite. So I'm just like, it's only a matter of time before it catches back up.
I think the good part is their identity right now is still running the ball, and I don't think with one game left they're just gonna throw the transcript.
I would agree, and because the end of the season too, the timing of all. If this is week 1, I think is different in terms of what they're willing to try and do and stuff like that. But at this stage, I don't think they're taking that approach and we're just gonna try whatever spitball and see what happens. I think they're trying to really come in here and play spoiler.
Yeah. No, I think we get pressure on him. And, yeah, I think we get like 3 or 4 sacks, TJ Highsmith, whoever it is. Watson, yeah, he throws a pick or two.
I like it.
He definitely throws a pick or two.
I like it.
Score.
Here we go. Dun, dun, dun.
We get in the 20s. Steelers get... Weather's supposed to be like in the 40s. I don't think it's going to be like anything egregious. Yeah, I think we get... Man, do I got a boss field goal in there? Can I count on that these days?
Dude, don't you start doing this. You making me nervous, man. Opening or closing? The difficulty matter. If it's opening, he'll hit. If it's closing, that's what we doing it?
All right. You know what? I'll go 24. I think we get 24. 3 touchdowns, field goal. And then the Browns, 24-17. I think I literally predicted this last week, didn't I? 24-17. But I feel like that's the score.
It's a good prediction, though, man.
24-17.
I like it.
Steelers win. And we're in the playoffs.
I like it. I like it. Already. Well, on my end, dude, it's 6-10. Although I'm going to get in trouble. It's all love.
Oh, damn.
But for me, man, score-wise, because it's going to be a good one. I do think it's competitive, too. We got to start fast, though. We're going to start fast. That does.
We have been moving the ball.
That's
well.
what I'm saying.
Let's
Like, we start
in the red
fast.
zone
Yeah,
one or two more times.
We just got to start fast. If we start fast, I think that we take care of business. I actually like it. I'm going to go 18 to...
This is going to be the same score as last week, too. Did you say 18?
Did I say 18? I think I did say 18.
You said a wacky score.
Yeah, it was like, I said it was like 18, 15 or 18, 30. It was like,
I think that's what it was.
I had it close like that last week. But no, I have it, I think it's a little bit wider of a margin. Probably go 18 to 10. Yeah, I go 18-10.
We lock them down.
Yeah, because they're good enough where they're going to make some plays, and I do think they will be able to do certain things with Amari Cooper, but they aren't operating with enough detail just yet to beat our defense like that. Like, I think our defense, we're not perfect, but we do certain things that match up well with them in terms of our passers, in terms of our hunters that go after quarterbacks. And Deshaun, as the one thing I will say he's been doing good since coming back is being elusive. They're getting back there to hit him, but they're not getting free sacks where he just goes down. It's like they're trying to chase this dude all around because he's still very elitely talented in that vein. But that's also what we specialize in terms of hunting that ball. Washington doesn't hunt that ball the way that we're going to hunt that ball. So you watch how he's last week getting out of some of that stuff. That doesn't fly in Pittsburgh. We hunt the ball. So in that vein, I do feel like that will keep them at bay. Even though I think they will be able to move the ball at times on us, but I think that's going to ultimately keep them at bay. That's why I have 18 to 10. Yeah. I like it, though. I like it. All right. I'll read off a couple of these scores, and then...
Well, let me say this real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Let's go UW, one of his super chats, because, we're wrapping this up, right?
Oh, yeah.
Says, JMU should come out to Laramie, Moats. Well, Wyoming JMU match.
Hey, I ain't tripping on it. I would like that. When I saw we were going to Utah State, I dead seriously thought about you. I was like, man, if we're going to go to Utah State, why won't we go to Wyoming? Like, I'd much rather go, chop it up with let's go UW than Utah State. Utah State, that's Bobby Wagner's spot, right? That's where he went to school at. I'm like, I don't know a lot of Utah States like that, man. Yeah. But I'm down for that. I'll be down for that, baby. And if that does happen and I am out there, I'm hitting you up. Just know that. All right, you're going to be the tour guide. Yeah. Sound good. I like it.
He's the tour guide?
Yeah, he's the tour guide. But we both pulling up, though.
I'm going, too.
If JMU's playing in Wyoming, yes. You think I'm going to Wyoming by myself? You definitely coming. Yeah. You going to see Deke in Wyoming. Yep.
They say there's some nice scenery out there.
I ain't know what scenery you was referring to. My bad.
Huh?
No, and I'm with you. Yep, it's beautiful scenery. Yeah.
What do you mean?
I know. I'm good. I'm with you.
Green grass.
Leave me alone. No, you ain't get me in trouble today.
What do you mean?
Nope. Hey. Oh, we got score predictions. Oh, man. What did people put in here, man? Oh, woo. Cha. Yeah.
Wait, what do you get in trouble for?
I was messing with you.
Okay.
I was just thinking about Wyoming. That's all. You said it was nice scenery. I
Yeah.
ain't know what you were referring to. That's all.
I heard it's pretty picturesque.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you then.
We're getting in trouble. You getting in trouble out there?
I just didn't know what you were saying. I didn't know what you were speaking on specifically.
They got good smoking areas out there.
I don't know anything.
I never heard that about why.
I don't know anything. I'm just sitting here trying to figure
I've heard
out
Colorado and Cali.
I'm good on whatever you were referring to. I just didn't know what you were referring to. That's why I was asking. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, just checking. I didn't want to assume. Yeah, but anywho.
I get what you're saying. Actually, now I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I'm sure you're not far off.
Okay.
Yeah. Anywho.
Don't want to get you in trouble. I get what you're saying now.
Thank you. So we're good. We're on the same page. Because I didn't know where you were going with it. When you was like, yo, it's nice. And I'm like, oh.
I'm literally talking about
I wasn't sure.
And
but you know how people refer to the scene.
The picturesque thing.
Yeah.
But
I was like, oh, before I started agreeing with you, yeah.
No, it was a wholesome comment I was making.
Okay, well, we're wholesome then. Yes, I'm with you. So, We're gonna read a couple of these score chats, and then we're definitely gonna get off of this thing, man, because it's 3 hours. Man, we gave these folks 3 hours and 8 minutes of podcast today, Deke.
That's a lot.
We giving them 3 hours, 8 pod, and no poll. Just think about that.
Damon Brown, big game for the Steelers. Yeah, I'm not.
Let's go.
Just no. 42-3 Steelers win. Go on a playoff run reminiscent of 05. Here we go.
Respect.
I like that.
Let's do it.
We got Todd Skalski, 24-13. Good guys.
I like it.
Jerry Ramos has 3 predictions for us. Steelers 23-13. Bills 38-13. Jets 20-13.
You know what the hat is, player. You know I'm down. You know I'm down for a good time. If y'all can't see this, it's Buffalo Bills. You know. Get it. And support. You know, we need the dub and we support.
Felicia Bellard, 10-9 Steelers win.
Shout out to Felicia. Let's go. I got a couple over here, man. All right. Let's see. Donald Copeland, 24-20 Steelers. Jeremiah Kane, 21-13 Steelers. Rod Dallas, 17-10 Steelers lose.
Damn, he's on those TG vibes.
Jacob Malicio, Steelers 27. Doodoo Brown. Hey, Doodoo Brown. Doodoo Brown. Said they getting 24, so we win. I like that. And then Chilla _21 says Steelers 20, Clowns 10. All right. So I think we were good there.
Caught up on everything.
We're caught up on everything. Man, shout out to each and every one of y'all, man. I know we did not get a chance to stack paper.
Oh, shit.
We did not.
Need picks.
Well, you need picks, but we could text those. We could talk about those afterwards.
I need to come back.
Yeah, because it's 3 and 10. And yeah, man.
We forgot our around the league, too.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we going to vibe out. We're going to salute y'all. And we're going to say hit that like button on the way out. I did also want to give a shout out to the homie, Heriberto Miranda says tuning in from the city of Juarez, Mexico. See you that way in Mexico. So I just want to say salute you, man. Shout out to you, man. We always got love for you, man. Even though you jumped on a little later in the podcast, man, I still want to shout you out, all right? So with that being said, though, y'all stay safe. Know that everybody is loved. And until next time, baby.
Peace.